Okay, so let's start. Welcome to the Education USA Baltic Fair and happy International Education Week, everyone. My name is Renata Zhukovska and I am Education USA advisor from Lithuania, Vilnius. With thousands of academic programs, world-class institutions, and unmatched flexibility, the United States offers a wealth of higher education opportunities that you will not find anywhere else in the world. Education USA is a US Department of State network of international student advising centers in more than 175 countries and territories. The network promotes US higher education to students around the world by offering accurate, comprehensive, and current information about opportunities to study at post-secondary institutions in the United States. Today, you will hear from more than 20 accredited US universities and colleges. But first, let's hear the welcome message from Ms. Jessica Topor-Seater, who is Public Diplomacy Officer in the US Embassy, Tallinn, Estonia. So please, Jessica, welcome.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. As was just stated, my name is Jessica Topor-Seater. I'm so happy to be here on behalf of the United States Embassy, Tallinn, to welcome you to the 2022 Education USA Baltics University Fair. The fair coincides this week with International Education Week, the purpose of which is to celebrate the benefits of international education and exchange worldwide, bringing the world to the classroom. As you've already heard, Education USA is a Department of State organization that networks over 430 international student advising centers in 175 countries and territories worldwide. There is an Education USA center in your country, and the purpose is to promote the exchange of ideas and information between students and educators from both your country and the United States. I myself studied in the United States at the University of Michigan for my undergraduate degree, and then I went on to attend the Indiana University for my law degree. Both are great universities, but there are so many others in the United States that can offer students like yourselves not only an excellent education, but life experiences that cannot be gained elsewhere. I truly believe that I gained just as much from life on campus and the interactions I had with other students as I did from sitting in the classrooms, broadening my concepts of society, my knowledge of the world, and myself. All of you are here today because you have some interest in the idea of studying in the United States. The colleges and universities that are gathered as part of this fair can offer incredibly diverse options for fields of study and for locations in the United States. But they have chosen to be here because they recognize what you, as international students, can bring. They recognize the incredible contributions that scholars from Estonia and the other Baltic countries have brought to the United States. And they welcome that opportunity to provide a space for international students like yourselves to study, to learn, and to exchange experiences as you develop into leaders in your fields and in your home countries. The United States is home to the best institutes of higher learning in the world. Attending any of the schools participating in this fair for your undergraduate degree will provide you with an excellent education, of course, but you'll also be exposed to a diversity of opinions and backgrounds to which you can hugely contribute and from which you will no doubt benefit. Today, I encourage you to actively participate, to keep an open mind, and to think about what you may both gain from and offer to any of the colleges and universities participating in this fair. Take the information you gain today and discuss it with your families. Whenever you or your families have questions or concerns, or just want to discuss the pros and cons of one university over another, know that you can always contact the Education USA office in your country. They will gladly do what they can to help. They are wonderful people. I wish you all a good evening, a great experience today, and the best of luck as you begin to make these decisions about your future education that can take you to amazing places, help you to meet wonderful people, and shape the rest of your lives. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jessica, for your kind words, and few housekeeping things, and maybe let's move on with the slide. Yeah. So you are welcome to write your questions into the Q&A box. We will try to answer them here during this presentation, but we will also keep all the questions after the fair, and we will make sure to answer them, and all registered participants will get the answers per email after the fair. And now let's begin with the first part of our fair, where you will meet representatives from 10 universities and colleges, which feature the diversity of US higher education landscape. You can see the list of universities here on this slide. Dear colleagues, you are welcome to, I'm stopping sharing my screen, and you have few minutes to set up your presentation, okay? Yes, so you are welcome to share your screen.
Okay, it's all good, right?
Yes.
Right. Should I get started or just wait a couple more minutes?
Okay, I see that we have a couple of minutes, so let's wait to make sure that everyone who planned to attend the fair is here in the room. So just a couple of minutes for
Absolutely.
Preparing, and we can get started, okay?
Sure.
And while we are waiting, you, dear participants, you are welcome to write to the chat, where are you from, in which studies or maybe states you are interested, maybe in which university you are interested in. Just give us a bit information about yourself so we know who is behind the screen, to whom we are talking. So write the city, the country, where are you living in, okay? Thank you for letting us know where are you from. I see Rudolf from Latvia, Gabriele, anonymous attendees from Lithuania or from Latvia. Welcome, everyone. Let's wait for one more minute and we can start then. I think we can start.
Great. Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Jun Nanli. I'm Assistant Director of International Outreach here at AMDA, College of the Performing Arts. I'm sending so much love from New York City, where I'm staying right now. I feel very special, like especially today, because it's International Education Week. Personally, I was international student myself. I originally from mainland China. 12 years ago, I attended a seminar that hosted by the school in Beijing, China, and end up that person that I talked to during that seminar become my mentor and also the lab managers when I joined their graduate school program. So I'm very, very excited to share this wonderful, the diversity of this higher education here in the United States. The school that I represent today called AMDA, American Musical and Dramatic Academy in New York City and Los Angeles. So our school, it's a vividly example of this, how diversified the education here in the United States and higher education can provide it to us as international students. Because AMDA, it's a very small niche of this market. We only offer performing arts program to students. So we have 2 campuses located in NYC, which is surrounded by 44 Broadway Theater and located in the Upper West Side between Lincoln Center and the Theater District. We also have a Los Angeles campus. It's literally 2 blocks away behind the Hollywood Boulevard. If you know that Hollywood side that is behind our building, and also the iconic, the Capitol Records building, just across the street. AMDA offer unparalleled performing arts education only in the major of acting, musical theater, and also the dance theater program. A lot of the students ask me doing different scenarios. They ask me, what's the ranking about AMDA? Even though there are more than 4,000 universities here in the United States, but unfortunately, we do not have like very legit ranking per se for performing arts college. But I do want to share one very important information about AMDA is if you ever enter the theater in New York City or anywhere in the United States, the Playbill, the magazine, has been on this market for over 135 years, talk about everything about theater. And AMDA has been ranked number 2 most represented college in the most recent year, 2022. So in that year, 2022, we have over 55 alumni performing on different, venue. Only on Broadway, more than 55 alumni performing in different production. Remember, that's just a Broadway, have all the international theater, regional theater everywhere. AMDA's alumni, you can see their face everywhere. Currently, we only offer 2 level of the program. Undergrad, we only offer Bachelor of the Fine Arts, Associate Degree program, also Conservatory, and a Bachelor of the Arts. This is a degree option, but for the major-wise, like I mentioned before, we only offer acting, musical theater, and a dance theater program, only performing arts. We don't even have like an instrument performance. We do not have like composing or copywriting. All the program that we offer, they are performing arts. So basically, you're gonna use your body as your instrument to tell the story. Also, we have a graduate program only offered in MA. It's 1 year theater arts program and a Master of the Fine Arts, which is 3 years terminal degree in writing for theater and media. If you are the high school students who are aged from 9th grade to 12th grade, you can also join us for the short-term program, summer high school program. We can offer in both in-person format or virtual or after-school program virtual as well. If you are aged from 18 to 25 and would like to join us for a short-term program, we have 2 months gap program available for students just to experience the 2 months here in New York City in acting and musical theater world. 2 campuses we have here in New York City, we only offer conservatory style training, but after it's 2 years conservatory style training, students have an option to transfer to LA campus in order to get another 2 years, get their Bachelor of the Fine Arts, or they can start fresh new in Los Angeles campus in order to get their Bachelor of Fine Arts eventually. All the requirement about admission is quite straightforward, but I really want to mention one part is 90% of the possibility students can be accepted here at AMDA with very strong scholarship is based on your audition performance. We have audition either in person in Europe. We have all the major country and the city. You have to go to the in-person audition. I will be flying to London this end of this month to host the in-person audition. If you happen to joining us, you can see me over there, or you can also joining us for live audition and also sending a recorded audition. If we are acting students, we need 2 contrasting monologue. Musical theater, we need 1 song and 1 monologue. If our dancer, we need 2 solo dance piece should be contrasting in different style. As mentioned, one word, we only offer, we're only looking for not looking for perfection. We're looking for who you are. We're looking for potential. See if you can go with us with a scholarship. I know we only have 5 minutes, so I just wrap up here. If you have any more questions, I will stay in the chat box a little bit longer, and or you can just email me afterwards. Thank you. Very excited to talk to you. I will turn the floor to my next colleague.
All right, I believe I'm next. Let me go ahead and I'll get my PowerPoint pulled up. Give me just 1 minute. And let me make sure I've got my shared screen ready to go. Perfect. Okay, everyone can see me?
Yes.
So great. So we will move a little bit east in California, but kind of stay in California and talk about California State University, San Bernardino. My name is Rebecca Kay. I work as an international admissions advisor at the campus. So we'll talk a little bit briefly about the CSU system and public education in California, and then we'll talk a little bit about my campus as well. So we will jump on to here. So just to give you an overview of the CSU system in California, we are a bachelor's and master's granting university system in the state with 23 campuses and almost 500,000 students. I'm going to have to update this list. I think right now we're at 480,000 students. There's over 240 different majors across the system. Some campuses specializing more in STEM programs, others in fine arts, business, all sorts of different things. You have smaller campuses with around 5,000 students and larger campuses with over 50,000 students. You can find more information about each of the campuses, and you can also put in the qualities that you're looking for if you're looking for an urban setting, a rural setting, Northern California, Southern California, through the campus match system at calstate.edu. We all use one application called CSU Apply, so we're not on Common App or any other type of application system. So going down to Southern California, as Junan had indicated, he's down here around Hollywood, kind of where that number 2 and number 4 are. My campus, we are about an hour and a half east in the city of San Bernardino. San Bernardino is where the first McDonald's was. That's the city's claim to fame, but is a pretty charming metropolitan area of about 200,000 people, right at the foothills of the San Bernardino Mountains, where there's a lot of great outdoor recreation camping. I was just up there this past weekend. We've already got snow up there. So it's a really nice community within kind of the hub of the metropolitan area of Southern California. So you'll see a picture here of our campus. As you can see the mountains behind there, this is our campus quad. We compete on the NCAA Division II level. We have just over 20,000 students, over 600 are international students. And this would be the main campus that we have. We also have a regional campus in Palm Desert, California. This is mainly where our tourism and hospitality students take their classes and do their internships, since this is a resort area near Palm Springs. So if you are interested in tourism, it's a unique campus to be able to get a lot of good hands-on learning in one of the larger resort areas in the United States. So looking at degrees and programs real quick, this building here is our International Center. It opened in 2019 and is home to an international cafe, study halls, all of the offices for study abroad and immigration advising. So you'll be very familiar with this building if you come to our campus. This is a list of all of our bachelor's degrees. The main category that we don't have is engineering degrees. So if you are looking for engineering, my recommendation is to do that campus search. There are about 10 of my sister campuses that have engineering across the state. My campus just doesn't have those types of programs. The programs marked in red have a higher admission requirement. So if you are interested in one of those programs, my recommendation is to copy down my email at the end of the session and reach out to me, and I can let you know about the requirements for that specific program. All of the other ones are completely SAT test optional. All we require is your transcript and an online application, and then an English exam if English wasn't your language of instruction in high school. And if you're looking for a master's program, this is our list of our masters, very similar to the bachelor's degrees in terms of the types of programs that we offer. And then I wanted to highlight a few pieces of campus life. I think this is a really important component of your higher education experience in the United States. Wherever you go to school, you'll be spending 4 years of your life there. You'll be learning and growing and having all sorts of experiences outside of the classroom to help shape you as a person. And so I think it's really important to find a campus community where you feel supported, where you feel like you can go on adventures and have growth during your learning process in the United States. So this is just a couple of highlights of things that you'll find and pictures that you'll find on our campus. In terms of housing at our university, we do offer on-campus housing. This is something, especially if you're looking in California, to ask every university what their housing process or policy is. Our housing is completely optional, so there is no residential requirement, but it is an option for you if you would like to live on campus. This is one of our apartment style housing units. We also have traditional dormitories for those who are looking for that traditional college experience. And then one other unique facet about our campus life experience that I think is just fantastic. We have what's called an adventure program. This is through our recreation center. And basically every weekend when school's in session, we have different field trips that are run by our recreation center around the southern part of the United States. So they do everything from a Grand Canyon tour over the Thanksgiving holiday. They go downtown LA and do Hollywood tours. They do surfing lessons along the coast. And we do cost sharing with students in terms of the cost of the trip. So students pay a third of what their seat would cost for the transportation, the equipment, the entry ticket, things like that. And the university supplements and pays the other 2/3. So if I wanted to go on the bungee jumping trip, for example, as a staff member, it would cost me about $60 US, but for a student, it would be 20. And then that's everything that I have to just give you a taste of California State University, San Bernardino and the CSU system. You'll see my email here. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat during our conversation, or you can email me as well.
Okay, so Central Washington University is up next. So we're actually going to head north of California up to Washington State. So my name is Stacy Soderstrom. I'm the Associate Director here with Central Washington University. We are a beautiful public university nestled at the base of the Cascade Mountains, right in the center of Washington State. And if you're not familiar with Washington, it is known as the Evergreen State. We border Canada and the Pacific Ocean. It's very geographically diverse. We have mountains, glaciers, the ocean, a coniferous rainforest, and a high desert. Central Washington University is located right in the center of the state in a smaller town called Ellensburg. We're about 90 kilometers from the city of Seattle, which is the second largest tech hub here in the United States, and also the largest city in our state. Central Washington has about 10,000 students overall. We're a mainly undergraduate focused university. So of those 10,000 students, 9,000 are pursuing their bachelor's degree and about 1,000 are pursuing their master's degree. We have over 400 international students on campus coming from 67 different countries. Students are successful at Central Washington because of our small class sizes. So while 10,000 might seem like a lot of students, we really focus on that individual attention in the classroom, have opportunities to engage with your faculty, small group projects, participate in research and internships. So the average class size is only 25 students. The largest class you'd ever be in at Central is 40 students. Campus has a lot of opportunities to get involved, whether you want to join one of our student clubs, which could be our astronomy club or our rocket club or equestrian club. one of our 13 varsity sports for Division II athletics. Or if you just want to take a walk through our Japanese garden or utilize our climbing wall or visit the planetarium or go to one of the free movies on Mondays in our movie theater. And we also have a farm on campus. That's our sustainability and outdoor classroom. So Central Washington, I mentioned, is in a small town called Ellensburg. It has everything that you will need as an international student, including free transportation. And as Washington State is home of Starbucks, we are a bit obsessed with coffee. And just in Ellensburg, we have 36 coffee shops and about 9 right here on campus. Central has over 135 different programs of study. So whether you're interested in computer science, cybersecurity, business administration, or you could study some more of our unique majors like construction management, primate behavior, aviation, fashion design. So a lot of different variety, and many of our students choose to study more than one major, which you have the option of doing here in the United States. I wanted to highlight some of the recent companies that our students have participated in internships or found for their work experiences once they graduate. So as I mentioned, we are home of Starbucks, but Washington State is also home of Microsoft, Amazon, Costco, T-Mobile. So a lot of great companies and opportunities to really get that hands-on experience related to your major as part of your study opportunity here at Central. Our estimated costs for tuition and fees for undergraduate and graduate are listed here, as well as the overall I-20 cost as an international student that you would need to show for your F1 student visa. And then we do have scholarships. So while that funding might seem overwhelming at first, we do offer opportunities to reduce that overall amount that you would need to fund for your studies. So at Central, we have an international student scholarship. You're automatically considered at the time of acceptance. It's up to $11,000 per academic year, renewable each year as long as you maintain your GPA or your overall grade. Now you can combine that international student scholarship with other scholarship opportunities. So whether you're joining our honors college or apply for a scholarship with our College of Business or within geology or music. So there are opportunities to receive additional funding in order to study here at Central. We do also offer competitive graduate assistantships for students who are coming for their bachelor's degree and then want to stay for their master's, or perhaps you're going right into your master's degree. We do offer those graduate assistantships, which can be a tuition waiver plus your living stipend. To apply to Central is pretty easy. You would apply online, or you can find us on the Common Application. You would submit your official academic records. We are no longer requiring the SAT or ACT for undergraduate admissions. And then you would provide proof of your English language proficiency. And then my contact information, or if you wanted to scan one of the QR codes to get specific information on international student admissions or to join our mailing list, you can scan one of those real quick or just take a screenshot of all of this. So thank you again for joining this Education USA Fair, and I will pass it along to my colleague.
Hello, everybody. My name is Carla Raygosa, and I love that I went right before Washington because we're going all the way to the exact opposite bottom side in Florida, the southeast side. And so I represent Florida Southern College. We're located in Lakeland, Florida, and I work with all of the international students that choose to apply to Florida Southern. I like to start off with something that is going to be really important for Florida Southern College. We are considered a small private liberal arts school. And part of, I guess, the type of student that we're looking for is somebody that can really uphold themselves and others to be the best that they can be. With us being a much Compared to other schools, about 3,000 total students on our campus. That's something that is important to us within our community. We're also really pretty is what I tell students. Florida Southern has this beautiful lakefront view. We are in Lakeland, the one of the places with many lakes, and so we're right in front of Lake Hollingsworth here. We have something really unique. We get about up to like 40,000 visitors a year just to check out the Frank Lloyd Wright architecture. We have 13 of their structures there. And for those of us who are like, that name sounds super familiar, pretty famous architect in the US. And there's like some pretty cool structures throughout, but like the fact that he ended up at Florida Southern College and designed our campus is really cool. So even if, you're visiting Lakeland, for anybody else, like it's always cool to check out this tour and learn a little bit about how he ended up designing the campus. And we still create a lot of the buildings, the newer buildings in like his similar style for architecture. So really cool. It does put us normally in like top 10 most beautiful campuses in the country throughout, just because of that unique architecture there. And then the city of Lakeland, and it's is also really cool. I'm originally from Miami, Florida, and I love Miami, but when I went over to Lakeland, I was like, wow, this is really special. It's about 30 minutes away from Disney and a couple other theme parks. There's a lot of theme parks in Central Florida, but it's they have, for example, Lake Hollingsworth is one of the safest places to like just do a run, walk, pet dogs, like there. It's always lit. They have best places people are moving to in the US, top 20 right now. Really cool, like tech hotspot that's kind of up and coming. So just really cool to be in that area where there's a lot of really cool things moving on. And then there's to the city that you're moving to, like Lakeland has a lot of really cool social activities that students get to be a part of. Where Florida Southern is located at is only about, it takes me about, and I walk slow, takes me about 15 minutes or less to like walk over to downtown from where I'm at. So it's really easy, and we have some really great transportation and little trolleys that take you around. So it's really cute, and lots of really cool job growth happening here. For programs, we have, even though we're Florida Southern College, we do have about 70 different majors to choose from at the undergraduate level. We have about 11 graduate programs, and we're still always, looking at the market, seeing what else is going to work. And so we're just added computer engineering and electrical engineering. That's something that's happening, moving around here at Florida Southern. For the undergraduate programs, they're all in person, but there is some hybrid or online for the graduate programs. Lots to choose from is what I tell the students here. And then as far as applying at Florida Southern, our application is free. So you can choose to apply through Florida Southern's website, but we're also on the Common App and the Coalition app. I don't have a preference. It's whatever works for you. And we normally open up our application in May for the upcoming year. So for spring 2023 and fall 2023, for example, the application has been open since May, and we're rolling admissions. So I work with the students as soon as their application is complete. About 3 to 4 weeks later, they get their decision. All students get reviewed for scholarship as well. We want you to send over your transcripts, at least one letter of recommendation that should come from the academic side. We do review and rank your essay, and then a proof of English proficiency, which could be an SAT or ACT. It's not required, but if you happen to already taken it and you want to send that over, you can. But we also can use IELTS, TOEFL, or the Duolingo English test. So you can text me if you're like, well, I have this going on, and what if I'm already going to a school where it's already taught in English, and there are case by case where that could be waived as well. But once a student gets accepted, as I mentioned earlier, it's really exciting, and students do automatically get reviewed for that academic merit scholarship. It can go up to like $25,000 this year, which I didn't mention the total cost, but it's about $55K for tuition, room, meals, and medical insurance, $55,000 per year. So you can get about half of it reduced if you're a really good academic student. And then you can also combine scholarships. There's departmental ones, there's performing and visual arts ones. I like to mention that one because that's something that helped me fund my schooling, is that I played the flute when I went to school, and I did get a scholarship for that. There's some special interest scholarships. We have about 20 Division II sports for NCAA, and some of those students get some funding through there. And then we have a highly like a full ride scholarship opportunity called Prestige. It is really competitive. The deadline for the fall is coming up 3rd of January. So there's still possibility if you're looking for that. But it's, out of 400 or 500 applications that we normally get within the upcoming year, maybe 8 to 10 students will get a scholarship for everything covered, which is really exciting. And anyway, we have different ways to fund schooling. Normally, once a student's already accepted, I like to highlight this because I think it's really cool here at Florida Southern, is that you're still working with me. You're not bouncing around to anybody else. So from the point, of right now, like you're just seeing if this is a good fit. And if it is, later on, you get accepted, you want to choose to submit an enrollment deposit. Our deposit is $500. You send over a copy of your passport, for example, financial support letter. I create that I-20 document for you. And then you'll go ahead and work on getting your visa. I help you, guide you through that process. And then I'm the one to greet you and help you with arriving to campus and joining orientation. So, we normally do that. And then at that point, I'm just checking in on you. So I think it's really cool that I get to work with the students from beginning until they choose to arrive here. And then I get to see them graduate as well. So Florida Southern, overall, really nice school located in Florida's Central Part. We have really great programs here. If you have any questions, you can email me directly, send me a text message on WhatsApp, or schedule something with me through my Calendly link. So again, really open and available. And I wanted to say thank you again for taking the time to learn more about all of our schools.
All right, wonderful. Well, delighted to be here with all of my colleagues and to meet so many of you that are excited and exploring the opportunity to study in the United States. I'm Steen Verholst. I'm the director of the International Enrollment Center at Colorado State University. So this is home. So if the mountains make your heart happy, Colorado could be a great place for you to come and consider studying. A little bit about our city. We're located in Fort Collins, Colorado, which is just outside of Denver, about 1 hour from the city center and 1 hour from Denver International Airport. Denver International Airport is extremely busy, so it's quite easy to get to our campus community. Once you get here, we always tell our students, hey, don't buy a car. Very easy to be able to navigate it through walking. Most of our students have bikes on campus. And we also have free public transportation for all of our students. And so that's just kind of a little bit about where we're located and a little bit about our culture in terms of kind of very easy to commute, very easy to get to. So pictures and statistics from around campus. We compete in NCAA Division I athletics. We have 18 different residential halls. And so that's a variety of choices for you, whether you want to live alone with roommates, share a bathroom, have your own bathroom, etc. There's lots of options. Inside of most of our residential halls is actually a dining center. So you live right above where you eat, and you have the flexibility to go across campus to find many different options at dining. We do a lot of research and development. We're a Carnegie Tier 1 research institution, which is just a fancy way of saying we have a lot of lab space, a lot of grants. Our faculty are working on really some world-changing projects, and we always invite students to be a part of those experiences. Approximately 75 different bachelor's degree programs with lots of different specializations. Of course, all of us are going to talk about the ability for you to do a major and a minor. It's the awesome flexibility of studying in the United States. So if you like 2 different areas and you're not really sure, we love that. So you can study across different disciplines in the US. We're extremely flexible. Lots of student clubs and organizations. And then of course, we've got Cam the Ram, who's our mascot. He's a bighorn sheep as he moves around campus. So where are our international students studying, or what are they attracted to? These are our top 5 majors among our international students. And so computer science, business administration, all across the spectrum in our College of Engineering, biology, and psychology. So what do we look for? Our students are typically quite strong. This is a 3.8 GPA on a scale of 4.0. But we have many students that are below this and some students that are above this. So again, this is just an average. Those are our English proficiency requirements. And don't worry, if you're struggling today keeping up with all of this in English, we can help you with an intensive English program or look at alternate ways to clear your proficiency requirements. These are our deadlines for early action. Early action just means it's your best chance for admission and scholarship. And so we give away most of our scholarship money prior to the new year, but we have regular decision through the middle of March. As you can see on the right side, and many of my colleagues have already touched on this, the application process is quite straightforward in terms of what we need and what we look for. So here's your investment in terms of tuition and expenses. Our total cost is approximately $50,000 per year. We do merit scholarships automatically. So all of our students are considered for an award up to $12,000 at the point of admission. And then we have an impact scholarship, which allows you to top off that award through meeting with one of our counselors, and it pays for up to half of your non-resident tuition. So some of our very best students, instead of paying $32,000 in tuition, pay just $16,000 in tuition. So we're able to lower that cost into the 30s. So it's a big investment. So what are the outcomes? As a privilege of studying in the United States, you're all going to be eligible once you complete your degree for an opportunity called OPT. This allows you to find your first job in the United States. We're going to work with you through our Career Center to help you earn some money to pay off for that big investment. This gives you an idea of some of these employers that our students are currently working at. And over 400 unique employers have worked with our international students in the past several years. So if you got your phone handy, your screenshot, this would be how you get more information about us. There's 3 different options there. Just simply requesting in more information, reaching out and contacting us, or following us on Instagram. There we go. That's Cam the Ram saying goodbye. Hopefully you all continue to have a wonderful day and continue to have opportunities to learn about all of our wonderful universities.
All right, hello everybody. I'm going to share my screen. There we go. All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Kevin Murray, and I am an Associate Director of Undergraduate Admissions at Drexel University in Philadelphia. I'm excited to be here today and share a little bit of information about a place that's been a very important part of my life for a very long time. I started at Drexel 11 years ago as a student and now have served the university in a whole bunch of different ways. As an undergraduate student leader, as an employee, as a student, as an alumni, and now as a faculty and staff member. I support students applying to Drexel from a few states here in the United States, as well as the entire continent of Europe, and I'm thrilled to be here to tell you a little bit more about Drexel. Drexel is a large, comprehensive, private R1 classified research university located in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Those keywords are kind of going to guide the next 5 minutes of my talk here to give you a little bit of a taste of who Drexel is. Something that I think is really important about Drexel is that comprehensive nature, and I'll share more about that in just a moment. Drexel is home to right around 14,000 undergraduate students. About 10% of those are international students, so about 1,500 students on our campus at the undergraduate level are international. They come to the university from almost all 50 US states and 120 countries around the world. That was a huge reason why I considered Drexel in the first place, because I really wanted to learn alongside folks who came from many different backgrounds and experiences, and that is certainly something that Drexel can provide. Our class sizes, despite being a relatively large institution, I know 15,000 or so students might sound kind of scary, are quite small, with a median class size of just 19. A huge reason for this is thanks to our internship and co-op program that sends thousands of our students off campus to work at any given time, that I'll talk about a little bit more in just a moment. In the academic side, Drexel has over 80 majors that range from the hard sciences in STEM and engineering, all the way to the fine and studio arts and everything in between. This is that comprehensive piece that I was talking about before. Something that I love about studying in the United States is that you're able to take majors and minors and explore curriculums outside of your typical plan of study. And being at a university that offers academic plans of study from a bachelor's of art in dance all the way to the hardest STEM fields in computer science and biomedical engineering, gives you that flexibility to really explore your academics however you'd like. Drexel is well known across the world for our experiential education model, which teaches students not just how to learn theory in the academic classroom, but to how to apply that in real world environments. One really cool example is Drexel's fashion show, this is a photo from it, that is hosted annually at a international fashion company called Urban Outfitters here in Philadelphia. It's an amazing display of our students' work from start to finish. This connection between world-class academics and real-world experience is something that you'll hear all across the Drexel website and in our ecosystem, because it's something that is incredibly vital to everything that we do. I mentioned that Drexel has an R1 research classification, which gives our students the opportunity to engage in academic research actively during their time in undergrad, as well if they'd like to stay a little bit longer and hang out for a graduate or a postdoctorate or postdoctoral degree. Something that Drexel is incredibly well known for is our co-op program. Co-op stands for cooperative education, and it's the idea that your in-classroom learning needs to cooperate with real-world, full-time professional work experiences outside of the academic classroom. These are also available to international students, which is hugely important. Since it is a program that is built in part by your academic curriculum, you are able to explore full-time paid work experiences while you're still a student before you've completed your bachelor's degree. These co-ops are 6 months, full-time jobs. The average salary is around $20,000 US for 6 months, so about $20 an hour on average, and is available to every single one of our majors. No matter what you're studying, there's full-time professional work experience built in to that plan of study. We offer students the opportunity to do as few as one of those 6-month co-ops and graduate in 4 years, and as many as 5 and graduate, as many as 3 and graduate in 5 years. We have co-op employers, about 1,700 of them in most US states and over 40 countries around the world. So there's also the opportunity to work abroad if that's something that's important to you. As I'm wrapping up here, our home is so incredibly important. Drexel is located in downtown Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Our neighborhood is called University City because of the fact that we share our neighborhood with a variety of other universities. Our largest neighbor who we share 5 blocks of our campus with is the University of Pennsylvania, better known as Penn. So we have lots of students, about 30,000 of them in a 30 square block radius right in the center of the 6th largest city in the United States and the only World Heritage City in the United States. Philly is located on the East Coast of the United States. I've loved the geographic tour that we've taken of the US today. Our location directly smack dab in the middle of Washington, DC and New York City grants students the opportunity to explore the entire East Coast of the United States. We also have an international airport, about a 15-minute train ride from our campus. Super easy to get to and from anywhere that you need to go, whether that's to home or to explore the rest of the US or the rest of the world. When you apply to Drexel, there's a lot of similar steps that my colleagues have talked about, and I'm happy to share some information with folks later on. All this information is available on our website. We utilize the Common or the Coalition application. We are test optional at the moment, and we also offer extensive merit, need, merit and need-based aid, even to international students. So feel free to reach out to me if you have any additional questions about the application process or financial aid. Here's my contact information. I'll be hanging out here in the chat box, looking forward to answer any questions that you have throughout the next 45 minutes or so that we have here. Please reach out to me with anything that I can do to help. It's quite literally our job to help folks understand our universities better. So let us know what we can do to support you. Thank you all so much and have a lovely day.
I actually forgot to unmute myself. So I want to say hello to everyone. If you were to take a 1-hour flight from Philly to Cincinnati, you will arrive at Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. So we are located in the southwest part of the state of Ohio. Ohio is known as one of the most affordable states in the US. We have a very reasonable cost of living, and we are located in a college town, so very different from let's say an urban setting. And for us, we are a mid-sized university of a little under 19,000 students, so it's not too big, not too small, so you have all the opportunities of a big university as well as the community of a small institution. We do have students from all 50 states in the US and also 67 countries across the globe. So who knows, your first year roommate might either be someone from Sao Paulo or you might be rooming with someone from Texas. So it's just a lot of opportunities for our students to meet a lot of great people all across the campus community. We are also known as an original public Ivy League institution. So as you know, in the US, we do have a lot of different institutions, and some of them are certainly very well known, but for Miami University, we offer the same type of excellent education at a public school price. So a lot of you are probably sitting there wondering how Miami University got its name. We were named after the Miami Native Americans that once inhabited the land of Oxford, Ohio. And so after they left the lands, and we decided to honor them and named it Miami University. So not to be confused with an institution in another part of the US. So that's just a fun fact about our institution. And like I said, we are a college town. So for us, everywhere is walkable distance. You do not have to worry about a car or bike to get around. It usually takes you about 10-15 minutes to get from one part of campus to another part. We do have 4 seasons. So in the winter, yes, we do have snow, but in the spring, it's really nice, very comfortable weather. And we do pride ourselves on our residents living. So most of our students during the first 2 years will live on campus, but even after they move off campus, they're still very close to the university as well. And if you're familiar with the poet Robert Frost, he said that Miami University is one of the most beautiful campuses he's ever been to. So if you ever have the chance to visit, I hope you will feel the same as well. We do give off the feeling of a private institution, but we are a public institution. And for us, we really center ourselves around student life. We do have over 600 different student organizations across campus. One of my favorite student organizations is a group called the Miami Dropouts. Not a group of students who want to fail out of college. It's actually a skydiving team. But we have everything across the board. If you want to volunteer, you want to do something related to your major, you're interested in joining a fun group, you want to learn how to dance, anything you could think of, I'm pretty sure 600 student organizations will be able to cover it. And then also just a quick fact, I know we have a lot of students here from Lithuania. Your previous president, Ms. Dalia Grubauskaitė, actually visited our campus and spoke to our students. So this really shows the ties in terms of reaching out globally and having a chance to meet a lot of different world leaders. We also had a Dalai Lama that came to campus to speak to our students as well. So wonderful opportunities on our campus. And then also there are some high ability students on this presentation today. And so if you're thinking about maybe spending 4 to 5 years to get both a bachelor's and a master's degree, we have several different programs in the business area as well as computer science / engineering. So just a great option for you to graduate with an additional degree. And a majority of our students actually complete at least a double major, or they will do a major and a minor. So for those of you who have several interest areas, that's the beauty of a U.S. education, is that you really get to maybe do a major in business, but at the same time do a minor in dance or film studies or fashion or whatsoever. And then also, since we are a Research One institution, we really pride ourselves on research. And because we have a very small graduate student population, research opportunities usually go directly to our first year students. So if you are ready, you could really start research right from day one. And it doesn't have to be in the STEM majors. It could be anything in business, and it could be in the creative arts. So research is available to all of our students. And then not far from you guys, we do also have the 5th campus of Miami University located in Luxembourg. So if students want to spend 1 semester in Luxembourg and take some classes in a 16th century castle, this could be one option. Because it is tied to Miami University, the classes transfer directly back to the main campus. So you're still getting credit for classes taken in Luxembourg. And then we're also one of the top 10 schools for our internship opportunities. We do have a career services office that will help students with finding those internships. If you've never done an interview before, we'll do mock interviews. So there's a lot of support for our students on campus. And then also just a quick shout out that December 1 is our priority deadline. We do have several different scholarship opportunities, but I do want to highlight our Presidential Fellow Scholarship, which is our full scholarship that covers tuition as well as housing. It also includes a $5,000 enrichment fund. So if you're interested in being considered for that, it's just one checkbox on the Common App. Please apply by December 1st. So with that, I do want to pass it along to my next colleague, and thank you so much and have a wonderful day.
Hi everyone, I believe I go next. Can everybody see my slides? No problem. All right. My name is Yang. I'm here to represent Millersville University. Let me get started. Now I'm going to bring you back to the state of Pennsylvania. All right. So as you can see, this is the map of the Pennsylvania, and here, give me a second. I'm sorry. We are in this part of Pennsylvania, and then as my colleague from Drexel shared with you before, and then we're also really close to the city of Philadelphia, Harrisburg, and Pittsburgh. And then we're about 3 hours from New York City and Washington, D.C. So if you really miss the big city feelings, there's a train station in Lancaster City will take you to those places within 2 to 3 hours. And so this is we're in the city called Lancaster, and this picture actually was taken by an international student. As you can see, the landscape of our city is very peaceful. We're also the hometown of Pennsylvania Germans, Schramlands, and Amish people. If you're really interested in the history, you will know the Amish people actually originally came from Germany, and then we have a lot of streets that named after German cities as well, and then you will see a lot of food influences in our area, actually also influenced by German cultures. Millersville University actually is recognized by a lot of organizations, and here I like to highlight two with you. One is the excellency in diversity, which means once you get here, you are not only have the opportunity to interact with students from local community, you also will have the great opportunity to interact with people from everywhere. For example, from Asia, South America, Europe. And then I can share an example with you because one of my students I work closely with were really interested in learning Japanese. And actually we had an international student from Japan, and they established language partnership. And then they exchange numbers and start language classes. And now they're still friends after graduating. And another thing that I would like to highlight is we're recognized by the ADT organization as safest campus in Pennsylvania and #6 nationwide. And some numbers that I like to share with you. And Millersville University is a public school. We consider ourselves as a medium size. So altogether, including undergrad and grad, we have about 7,000 students. And then our student to faculty ratio is about 19:1. This means that you will always have an opportunity to get a one-on-one attention from your professors. And then here at Millersville University, we have an open door policy, which means you can always visit your professors during their office hours. Either you want to discuss them with the academic topic or anything you like to share with them. We do not use GA, we do not use teaching assistant. So every undergrad level classes you will be taking are from the professors. We also have over 100 programs for you to choose from. We'll talk about that later. And then we have student organizations and clubs for you to choose from as well. And as I mentioned before, we have over 100 programs and related area to study. And here are just some highlights and are the most popular majors among international students. If you look for traditional majors such as business, applied engineering, computer science, we got them. If you're more interested in, new majors such as music industry, by marine biology, meteorology, we also got them. And then for graduate levels, we have some really good majors such as in technology innovations. And then here I like to emphasize psychology because myself went to graduate school for psychology, and I was an international student before. I had a great experience interacting with my cohort and the professors. So I recommend psychology if you're interested in psychology. And then not only we want you successful as not only we want you have academic successful, we also want you have a very holistic student life in Millersville. And we do have a lot of resources here share with you on campus. One thing that I put on the first is our Center for Counseling and Human Development. We understand as international student, you made a really good choice, and it's a brave choice for you to step out of your comfort zone, come to America to study. And we understand while you're here, once you get here, you probably will face some challenges that you need help with. And if you ever experience any difficulties in life, or in your academic life, we're here to help. That's why we have counseling centers for you. And these services are free. And then we also have health services. We have a great experienced nurse on our campus. If you feel, have cold or anything that you need to talk to a doctor or nurse, you can absolutely visit them. It's all free. And something that I like to also share with you is our office, which I'm really proud of. I'm a part of the International Program Services team. Every single one in our team has great experience working with the international students before, or we were international students. So we have 3 units here in our office, from admissions to language institution and also study abroad program. We have a whole team here to provide services from admissions to issue your I-20, provide suggestions or tips for you to go through visa process. We're here to support you, and then we're here to welcome you. And here are some of the facilities at Millersville University. I do want to emphasize our gym is very new and it's open 24 hours. If you're really interested in working out and find a break from your heavy study, you can always go to the gym, and it is a very, very good facility. And we do offer scholarship for our international student, and you can stack them together. All the international students are automatically considered for our merit-based scholarship plus reduced tuition. There's no separate application needed. And our merit-based scholarship is based on the GPA. As you can see here, we have a different range based on your GPA. And we also offer campus employment. With your visa restriction, you are allowed to work on campus up to 20 hours per week. And I do encourage you to take this opportunity to get working experience on campus. And then you can also enroll to installment plan, which means you don't have to pay the tuition out of your pocket right away. You can enroll in this payment plan and pay up to 5-month plan with only $30 enrollment fee. And at graduate level, we do offer graduate assistantship, and that will cover about 24 credits per year. And then you will also get $5,000 step in every year. And then here are some facts about our university. Once again, Millersville is a public school, and we're really more affordable. If you're, we are on Common App, and we have also our own app. And the application process is very standard. We're test optional as well. If you're ready, get your phone, and then you can scan this QR code. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact our office as well. Thank you again. I'll be hanging out here. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. Bye-bye.
Hello, everybody. And thank you so much to Education USA for allowing me to present on St. John's University today. My name is Amy Arcario, and I am the Associate Director of International Admission here at St. John's University in New York City, New York. It's a pleasure to be here. Throughout the next several slides, as we're talking about St. John's University, you'll see QR codes in different parts of the presentation. If you'd like some more information about St. John's, please visit the QR code, enter your information, and we'll be sure to follow up with you. So if someone were to ask me what makes St. John's University different from the other 4,000 plus higher ed institutions that they could choose in the United States, I would say that it's our mission. So we are a private, Catholic, Vincentian, Metropolitan, and Global University here in New York. And each of these words really are a part of our identity as to who we are at St. John's. So we are one of the largest Catholic institutions in the United States. With that being said, everyone, of course, is welcome, regardless of their backgrounds or their beliefs. And we actually have more non-Catholic undergraduate students than Catholic, which is interesting, but it just goes to show that everyone is truly welcome. We are also Vincentian, so we follow the teachings of a gentleman named St. Vincent de Paul. He was a 17th century theologian who dedicated his life to serving others. And a phrase that I learned very quickly when I started working at St. John's University 9 years ago was that St. John's truly believes that our students are more successful when they help others. So we actually have special scholarships to high school students who have completed a lot of community service and wish to continue to do so while they're at St. John's. We're metropolitan. We have 2 locations in New York, 2 campuses. We have the Queens campus, which we'll be talking about in the next slide. And then we have our specialized business school in downtown Manhattan, which houses our actuarial science and risk management programs. And finally, we are global. We have 3 European locations abroad, and we encourage our students to continue studying abroad at one of those or other locations. So as I mentioned, we have our main campuses in Queens, and you can see that we're very close to both JFK Airport and LaGuardia Airport. Most of our undergraduate and graduate programs are housed at the Queens campus. We do have housing at the Queens campus as well. Students who are interested in studying actuarial science or risk management would study their junior and senior year or their last 2 years of their degree program at the Manhattan campus. They would do their first 2 years at the Queens campus and then begin commuting into Manhattan to complete their program. Rome, Paris, and Limerick are really used as study abroad sites. You cannot complete a full degree program at one of those campuses. But to be sure, if you want to visit, we have many different ways for students to do so. Our main campus, as I mentioned, is in Queens. It's in one of the most diverse cities in the world, which is amazing. And I like to think of the Queens campus as a hidden gem in New York City. As you can see from this photo, we're about 100 acres of gated community located, again, Queens, New York. We're about 30 minutes away from Manhattan. We do have residence halls available to you if you wish to live on campus. No one is required to. You can see a lot of housing around the campus. So many students choose to live on campus. Others choose to perhaps find housing off campus and rent. That's definitely a possibility if that's of interest to you. And from the highest elevations on campus, you can actually see the New York City skyline. So we encourage our students to make the most out of their new home when they come to St. John's University, go to the games, get involved, but also definitely make the most of our metropolitan identity and travel into Manhattan as often as you can. We also, a couple of years ago, started to offer our first year students the opportunity to begin St. John's University at our Rome campus. So some students have decided to start their academic journey at our Rome campus and then complete the rest of their studies here in New York City. So, to be sure, if you have any questions about this or if this is of interest to you, please click the QR code and we'll definitely be in touch. When it comes to what we look like, we have about 20,000 undergraduate and graduate students enrolled. We offer over 100 undergraduate programs. We have representation from 47 states and 123 countries. That is a lot. Sounds like a lot of people for sure, and it is, and it's great. But we still maintain a small student to faculty ratio of about 17:1. We are a Division I Big East school. We have 17 Division I men and women's teams here at St. John's. We have over 180 student organizations on campus and a alumni network of over 190,000. When it comes to our outcomes, we have a very high, approval rating from our graduates. And about 90% of our graduates are hired and or enrolled in graduate school within 6 months after degree completion. You can see some of our top employers and our internship partners here. To be sure, these are just some logos. These are just some companies and organizations, not the entire group of companies and organizations that do work with our students. And I'm trying to be very mindful of the time. My apologies. As most of my colleagues have mentioned, application is pretty simple. We are a common application school, or you can apply directly at our website, stjohns.edu/apply. You can view our application information dates here. We are test optional, but from many students, we do ask for TOEFL, IELTS, or Duolingo or Pearson PTE academic results. To be sure, if you have a special case, we're definitely pleased to review any requests that you have for waivers. That'll always be case by case. We do have a lot of scholarship opportunities. Our merit-based scholarships are very generous. We are charging, it is a premium tuition because we are in New York City, but to be sure, nearly all of our first-year students do get scholarship. It's automatic, but here on this particular slide, you'll see that there are application-based scholarships, which you're more than welcome to check out. They are stackable. As I mentioned, to be sure, because we're in New York City, we are about 46 plus per academic year, but of course, almost all of our students get scholarships. So please, just know that that's the sticker price, and certainly we'll be reviewing students for scholarship opportunities. Okay, and with that, thank you so much for your time. Good luck with your university searches, and I will stop sharing and welcome my colleague.
Got to unmute. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Let me just get this in screenshot mode here. So my name is Patrick Morrison. I'm with the University of South Dakota. So we are, I think, one of the few Midwestern universities on the call today might be the only one. So we're located in the US state of South Dakota. USD is located in the far southeast corner of the state, right on the Missouri River. We border Iowa and Nebraska in that little kind of dangly bit there in the southeast. So what is USD all about? So we're one of the 50 flagship universities in the country. So we're a public university. So each state has their main public university campus, and we are that for the state of South Dakota. We're fully accredited by the Higher Learning Commission. We also have important collegiate or departmental level accreditations. So AACSB for business, ABET for computer science. We're actually in the top 10 for affordability for ABET accredited computer science programs, for example. And I'll get into our costs and affordability in a little bit in the next couple slides. We're a comprehensive university, but we have a liberal arts foundation. So we have some public liberal arts, private liberal arts. We are a public liberal arts university. It's in our state constitution. So all bachelor's students are taking courses in, if you're a math major, great, but you're going to be taking a fine art course, a humanity course, of course, science, English literature and language, foreign language, and all those sorts of degrees. We have all the way up to PhD programs. So if we do have any master's or PhD students on the call, we certainly have those offerings as well. We have about 10,000 students across our 4 degree levels, and we do have 400 international students from 55 countries. We have 3 students from Estonia on our campus, and we do have an exchange partnership with Vytautas Magnus University in Lithuania as well. So we do get students from Lithuania studying on our campus as well. So Latvia, step on up, we need you here. So academically, we have about 200 undergraduate programs and 70 graduate programs. We have programs that have been established since our founding in the 1860s, all the way to new programs that we just are rolling out this year. So within the last few years, like artificial intelligence, business analytics, neuroscience. We have small class sizes. So half of our classes, a little over half, have less than 20 students in them. For us, a big class would be like 40 students. I think it's something like 80% of our student classes have less than 30 students in them. We have a student to faculty ratio of 15:1. So at USD, you're really not just going to be a name, right, on a sheet of paper or a face in a classroom. You're going to be known as a person by your professor, right? You're going to get to connect with them. They're going to be there to support you if you're doing maybe struggling academically, but if you're succeeding, right, they're really going to be there to help you get connections. Maybe you want to do research, looking for internships and those sorts of things. They're going to be there to support you in those endeavors. So a lot of that one-on-one faculty mentorship, up-to-date facilities. So, on our campus, we have beautiful historic buildings from the 1880s. And then we have our new health science building that we just inaugurated in September. So really a nice mix of architecture, but even our historic buildings are continually maintained. And we have academic support centers for you, like the honors program, a writing center, career success center, all those sorts of things to help you make the most of your education in the United States. I'm not going to go into detail on all of these programs, but we tend to use the word unique, I think, too much. But these are unique in that, to my knowledge, we're either the only one of these in the country or one of just a handful. So first, the Missouri River Institute really focuses on research and sustainability, wetland ecology. We're on the only stretch of the Missouri River that has not been channeled for barge traffic or dammed for hydroelectric power. So it is a national recreation area administered by the National Park Service. So we do a lot of field research in that for, so if you're interested in biology and sustainability, some really interesting practical experience. This photo is taken about 5 miles, or what is that, 7-8 kilometers from campus. Physics, Sanford Underground Research Facility, very interesting. Not going to go into it in detail, but if you are a physics major, we are doing some really groundbreaking research in the area of dark matter and neutrinos. National Music Museum. So we do actually have one of the largest collections of historical musical instruments in the world located on our campus. It's been featured in the New York Times, National Public Radio, and others. We are, South Dakota is located on the ancestral lands of the Ashaty-Shakoi, which is the Great Sioux Nation. So we do have studies in Native studies and museums, oral history centers dedicated to the study of the history, culture, and language of our Native peoples here in the state. So affordability, my red arrow is off a little bit. It should be over to the left, but we do have the lowest tuition of all the 50 flagship universities in the US. It's about $13,000 per year for international students. So significantly lower than the other flagships. We are of the nationally ranked schools by US News and World Report if you sort in that top 300 category. So we have the 5th lowest tuition for international. So the estimated cost for undergraduate, inclusive of living costs, books, health insurance, everything's about $23,000. Our merit scholarships go from anywhere from $1,000 to $6,000 per year. So we can cut that tuition number up to 50%. A lot of on-campus jobs, most of our international students work 15 to 20 hours a week. Our minimum wage is about $10 an hour. So you could earn a little over $3,000 a semester working part-time. But that minimum wage is going up to $11 an hour next year in January. South Dakota is also a very affordable state, especially compared to a lot of other states in the country. We're number 6 for affordability. So you kind of get that double benefit of the university itself is quite low cost compared to most other universities in the US of our rank, if you will. But also South Dakota, it's also very affordable. So you kind of get those two benefits. Lastly, Vermilion, we have, we're a small college town, have about 12,000 students. We have the highest percentage of college students of any town in America, according to City Lab. It's about 70% of the town would be college students. So between like 18 and 25 years old. So it's a vibe. We get A grade from niche rankings for student life and social scene, Division I athletics, 180 student organizations, Greek life, service learning. So it's really that traditional American experience at USD. So with that, I think I'm at time. It's amazing how fast 5 to 7 minutes goes. But if you have any questions, there's my email, my WhatsApp, if you want to take a click of that. And I will be hanging around to answer any questions in the chat and the Q&A. Thank you.
Yes, thank you everyone for your really wonderful presentations. And now I will try to share my screen just to have this nice list of all universities present here. Okay, so we have enough time for the Q&A session, so we can really turn on our cameras maybe, and we can try to answer questions from the students. Dear students, you are welcome to write your questions into the Q&A box. We will try to answer them now. I see one question that is unanswered yet. What is the acceptance rate of Miami University? So I see that someone is typing. And about the IB diploma, does it give some extra points for the applicant while during the application? What is the situation? How do you look at credentials? Just at your university and from your experience, if you have, let's say, a national diploma, or if you see an IB diploma, does it make any difference?
Is that specifically for Miami, or is that just anybody?
I would say we as EducationUSA advisors, we get this question very often, actually. So anyone who would like to share their thoughts are welcome to do this.
Sure. Yeah. So from my perspective, we don't. The only difference between like IB and British A levels, for example, would be university credit. That's similar to advanced placement in the United States. So an IB student would be able to get university credit for their subjects depending on how well they did on them. So, maybe instead of, 4 years at university, they might do 3.5 or 3. But from an admission standpoint, as a public university, we have students applying from, anywhere from 70 to 80 countries a year, all with diverse educational experiences. So we just translate that into a 4.0 GPA, and then that's what we use for admission. So, if a student in Lithuania does IB, they're not going to have an advantage on an admissions or scholarship standpoint over a student that did the national curriculum.
Okay, thank you. And we have a funny question. Can I get kicked out for bad grades?
I can briefly answer that for at least from the perspective of Central Washington University, and more generally speaking too, most institutions will have a certain grade requirement that you need to maintain each semester, each quarter. So students who are not performing well may have something that's called probation, academic probation, where you are sort of on alert that you need to increase your academic performance to stay at the institution. But ultimately, if you don't, then you may get academically suspended. That is to say, all of our institutions have the support services to assist you with your studies. So whether you need help with your writing or English language, doing research. So we have libraries, writing centers, tutoring centers. For me, math is my worst subject, so maybe you need help with that. So there are the services there for you to utilize. They are free. They're part of your fees that you pay to attend our institutions. So please use them to get help, because the help is there if you need it.
I can also add on that, because I was an international student before. I was really scared because in China we have a different educational approach. But I won't let you know, as international student, it's all you have to take control of your study here. You have to initiate a conversation either with your professors, with your academic advisors, and also make sure that you understand there's resources on campus that you can refer to, and then make sure you ask for help. Do not struggle quietly on your own. We have a whole team to support you.
Thank you, wonderful. And we have a question from Goda. She asks, what helps to get a scholarship?
So I can take that. I think it really depends on, each university is going to have a slightly, this is the complicating part when you have 4,000 universities in the US, is you almost get 4,000 different answers. But, I think first and foremost is obviously academic quality. That's kind of the biggest factor. If you're not a great student academically, your odds of getting a scholarship are going to be diminished, but not impossible, because maybe there's a you're really gifted. I think there was somebody on here that said they're really gifted. They played the flute, right? So there might be a talent-based scholarship. There might be, you're really active in your Rotaract Club or the Red Cross or something like that. So universities might have separate categories of scholarships, or that could maybe outweigh or balance out academic, maybe lower GPA or things like that. So it really is, case by university, but, so not the easiest answer, but maybe somebody else on the call will have some other wisdom.
Yeah, maybe more, advices and tips, what to keep in mind when applying for scholarships?
My suggestion would be definitely to do your research. As Patrick mentioned, there's over 4,000 colleges and universities. We all have different requirements. Some scholarships may have deadlines, so you'd have to pay attention to that. Some you might be automatically considered with no deadlines. So it would be good to start your research early, keep your research organized on the different scholarship opportunities. Maybe there's an essay component or an audition. So maybe creating a spreadsheet. So something that helps you keep all of that information in one place, because it can get really confusing.
Yeah,
and
Yeah,
go ahead.
please.
The
please.
last thing I would add too is you can stack. We call it stacking a lot of different scholarships. And so make sure that you continue to look at all of the options, because you can get a merit award, a performance award, marching band. There's so many options for you to join an honors college. Perhaps there's a scholarship. So get really creative. Not all scholarships work together, but many of them do. And you're able to kind of keep adding it to it. And we're standing by to be able to help you sort out all of those finances. And so if it takes 10 different inputs to be able to afford your education in the USA, that's the job of our teams, is to be able to kind of combine all those resources to say, yeah, you can now afford this.
Yes, this is a very important information, I would say, for our students, because not always it is very easy to find this information on the web page of the university. And what we do, we usually say and advise students, just go ahead, email the team of the university, and they will provide you all the information and they will guide you through these processes. And you mentioned the academic quality. So here is a question: what is academic quality? How do you check it? Yes.
I can answer, at least from the perspective of Drexel. I think something that's really important to know about academic quality first is that us, as the international admissions recruiters, are often the folks who also read your application. It's our job to understand the academic curriculum options within your countries and understand what a strong academic performance in context of what you have access to is in your experience. We're not going to compare an Estonian student against a Lithuanian student because their access to educational opportunities, their curricular structures, and their schools are going to be very different. So academic quality is going to be in the context of what you had access to while you were in high school or secondary school. So don't think about it as a comparison against other folks, rather think about it as you compared to what you had access to as a student in your high school journey. Where many universities are looking for folks who have performed above average or at least average in most of their academic curriculums. Drexel, for example, most of our folks are scoring A's and B's on US scales. But me, as the territory manager for all of Europe, it's my job to go in and understand the curriculums of your countries and what you're studying and comparing that to a US scale. So performing above or at least average in what you've done in the classroom is pretty normal for us. Especially as many universities have moved away from standardized testing as test optional universities. We do have to have a bit of a better understanding of your school's curriculum and what you have access to. And that's where EducationUSA is wonderful partners to us in helping us understand what is offered in your country and at your individual schools.
Yes, and don't forget that sometimes it's up to you how much information you provide to the university, and it's a very important role to do. So make sure you provide as much as possible contextual information about your curriculum, about your school. So the university admission team has really enough information to evaluate your grades, your curriculum, and everything what is needed to be evaluated. We have another question about students' loans. Do international students at your university take those loans, or usually they finance their studies from their families' budgets and from scholarships? What is your experience?
So
I think, I'm sorry, go ahead, Patrick.
Okay, I was just gonna say that most of our students, they tend to have, it's family funds is by far the largest pool. However, in the last probably 2 years, Empower Financing, Prodigy Financing, a few others have really become more popular from their loan companies. I've also seen more loans from home country specifically as well. So it's definitely increasing in popularity, but always let students know, read the fine print, know how you're going to pay them off. I think a lot of us on the call that went to US universities know the danger of student loans. So if you can avoid them, great. But if it's one of the tools, it's a good tool in the toolkit to fund your studies if necessary.
So I'm scrolling through the questions and we have quite a few of them. Yeah, if talking again about scholarships and maybe the final question on that topic, is community service important for scholarship applicants?
If I could answer that one, it's very specific to the institutions that you are applying to. So at St. John's, we have a scholarship that, one of the only requirements is that you've done and have done a lot of community service, so that's like really specialized. But so that answer is likely yes, there are scholarships out there where community service is very important. But as with any application-based scholarship, you just have to read the details and see what that scholarship in particular that you're considering applying to requires for the students, that the scholarship is awarded to. So it's just always, do your research. I think that the spreadsheet idea that someone mentioned earlier, my apologies, I think that's a fantastic idea, because if you haven't already, as you begin to visit, maybe even each of our websites, you're going to see all of the different, things that we offer, application requirements, scholarship opportunities, and a spreadsheet is a really great way to keep notes of all those details.
Thank you. One more question about letters of recommendations. How students should choose the teacher who would write a letter of recommendation? Do you have any tips or expectations?
I think I can answer that. Majority recommendations letter we see at Millersville University are from the school counselors, but I understand not every high school offer school counselor services to the students. And if that's the case, I would recommend you to ask recommendation letters from a teacher that you work closely with, either on a project or you're especially interested in this subject. And then in this recommendation letter, they can, display your personality, your skill set. That will be ideal, but we don't have a restriction on whom you're gonna look for a recommendation letter. Just keep in mind, recommendation letters is part of your application process, and we do rate them. So make sure that you, in your recommendation letter, you can help us to tell who you are, what your strongest skill set, and then what we can know through those recommendations letter. We can know a little bit better about the students, about the applicants. That's the purpose of recommendation letters.
Yeah, and from my experience, what I see sometimes that students go to English teachers for the recommendation just because they are able to write, a nice text in English. But what if a teacher doesn't know English very well, but could be a good choice as a recommendation letter writer? What to do in this case? What would be your advice?
I will chime in because I just read one that was originally written in their language. And actually, there's different ways to do it. You can sometimes reach out to EducationUSA to help you out. But for this one, the English teacher did the translation, which I thought was really nice, and the school sent that over. So that was great because they were able to get some pretty cool recommendations from a more diverse population of people that need them better. And I like the letter from the English teacher saying, like, I'm translating these. I hope that's okay. So for us, at least at Florida Southern, we accepted that. And I think most of us would accept that as well, especially since it's coming from the school. And you can also use translation services. But I would say connect with EducationUSA as well, because they may have some resources to assist you. And they've done that in the past for some of my students. So thank you, EducationUSA, because you've done that before for some of my students.
Thank you, wonderful. So we are running out of time. We still have few questions, but we will make sure to keep them, to save them, and we will make sure to answer them. In some cases, we will ask university representatives to answer them, but stay assured we will send you to everyone who is registered for the fair. So, dear panelists, thank you so much for your wonderful presentations. I hope our students feel inspired and are ready to take action. Yeah, and we are moving on to another part of our fair. So, yes, we will be having a very short break, 5 minutes. And afterwards, we will start the next session, which will be 6:45 p.m. Baltic time. The next part will be half an hour long, and we will meet representatives from 4 community colleges, which will be Sinclair College, Lane Community College, Shasta College, Edmonds College. So please stay tuned. And if you have any questions for the upcoming topic, again, please use the Q&A box. Thank you, dear presenters. Good luck. And let's meet in 5 minutes for the next topic, community colleges. Okay, I'm stopping sharing my screen now. Dear panelists, you are welcome to start sharing your screens.
So I think I'll share my screen, right? We have the one file. I guess if you guys need to advance the slide, just let me know in Excel, advance the slide, right? So that way we can save some time, I guess. Okay, so.
Yeah, so we have half an hour for this part and 1 minute to go.
So John, thank you so much for helping put the slides together. You will advance the slides for us then?
Yes, okay.
All right, thank you so much, John.
Bye.
Bye. Should we start?
Yes, let's start.
All right, well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Community College session. My name is Carla Anderson, and I represent Lane Community College. Next slide. There are more than 1,000 community colleges in the United States, serving over 13 million people, including students like you. And about 45% of Americans also study in community college on their way to earning a bachelor's degree. Next slide. And community colleges focus on preparing students for their bachelor's degrees and their careers. All of us work to support students and promote academic success. Next slide. We enjoy smaller class sizes, and at Lane, we average about 21 students in a class. And you have a lot of personal support and attention, as well as affordable tuition, flexibility in academic programs. Also, an easier application process, typically with more intake options. And we have open admissions. And so you can come to a community college and then transfer to top universities. Next slide. So Lane Community College is a fully accredited public college, and each year we welcome about 400 international students from over 50 countries. They enjoy studying together with about 10,000 American students. Next slide. We are located on the West Coast in the city of Eugene, Oregon. And it's a small city, a very safe and friendly college town. We have very mild weather with a rainy season from about November to March. And our environment is very fresh and full of nature, a lot of green in Oregon. After Lane Community College, you can transfer to over 100 universities all around the United States. You will see some of the examples there on the screen. And our academic advisors help you to transfer. We also have university partners overseas. So if you want to transfer, you can go to Australia, New Zealand, France, and the UK. Next slide. We offer more than 50 options for academic programs, including business, engineering, computer science, IT, graphic design, nursing, as well as English as a second language. And if you would like a short-term experience, you are welcome to come starting at three-month options. I want to highlight one of our special partnerships with Rennes School of Business in France. This is a 2+1, so this is a 3-year bachelor's degree, and you can study in 2 countries. So if you're interested in studying business, This option can save you time and money. And all classes are taught in English. And I visited this campus in early 2020, right before the pandemic. It's a beautiful campus and beautiful city. Next slide. Lane Community College, of course, we offer the 2+2 program. So you study 2 years with us and 2 years at a university for your bachelor's degree. And all courses are fully accredited. We have an excellent, robust internship program. And after graduating, you have the opportunity to work in the US for 1 year. Next slide. We do offer scholarships to new international students up to $3,500. We have free tutoring, again, the internships, and also very strong peer mentoring program. So our peer mentors are current students who help you when you arrive. Thank you, John. Next slide. We have excellent academic advisors focused just on you. Arrival assistance. So when you arrive at the airport in our city, we have free airport pickup, as well as many fun trips and social events. Next slide. These are just a few pictures. This is the Oregon coast, and we go on student trips here. Next slide. We go to NBA basketball games, so you can join us on these exciting trips. Next slide. Oregon is a tax-free state, so the cost of living is much lower than other locations, and we have great outlet malls, and we go on trips here as well. Next slide. This is Crater Lake National Park. We also take student trips here. It's a beautiful place to hike and relax. Next slide. This is our international programs team, although I realize this picture is a little bit old, but we have a robust team that is here to support you when you are studying at Lane Community College. Next slide. We have beautiful student apartments. They are fully furnished, and you have a private bedroom in a 4-bedroom apartment. Computer lab with free printing, study lounges, community rooms, even free bicycles to ride around our city. Next slide. So we invite you to come and join us. You can apply today. We welcome new students every September, January, and March. And our application is 100% online. Next slide. So thank you so much. My name and email address are there on the screen. Please feel free to write it down. I am going to be leaving to another meeting, but I would love to hear from you via email. You are very welcome at Lane Community College. Thank you.
Thank you, Carlisle. That's great timing. Thank you. So I guess Shasta College is next. So first of all, thank you, EducationUSA, for organizing this event. I'd also like to thank all of you for attending this webinar. So I'm Dr. John Yu from Shasta College. I was a faculty member and administrator in the California Community Colleges for over 26 years. So today I'll talk about Shasta College, and Shasta College is one of the top community colleges in California. We received the Innovation Award from the state of California for 3 times for the last few years for the program that help our students succeed. So where is Shasta College? Shasta College is located in Northern California, which is about 220 miles north of San Francisco. It's located on I-5, which is a major highway from Mexico all the way to Canada. So the transportation is very convenient. And there's also a small airport at Redding. The town has about 90,000 people. The airport have daily flight from San Francisco to Los Angeles. So the area is very beautiful. Mountain Shasta is nearby, Sacramento River, and also the Larsen Volcanic National Park. It's a very beautiful place, very safe town. So Shasta College is a comprehensive two-year college accredited by the Western Association for School and College. We are an important part of the California higher education system with over 70 years of academic excellence. Actually, we were founded in 1949 with 124 different programs, over 12,000 students, many different sport and clubs on large campus, 337 acres. So for comparison, the Harvard main campus is only 229. So we have a very large campus. Why you want to attend Shasta College? I mean, there are 4,000 U.S. higher education institutions, over probably 1,100 community colleges. So why you want to attend Shasta College, right? First of all, we have very strong academic programs, including the 2+2 with the University of California and California State University and many other universities across the country. We have a low tuition fees. It's only probably like 1/4 or 1/5 of some of these four-year institutions. And also the low cost of living in our area compared with the San Francisco area. For example, in the San Francisco Bay Area, a one-bedroom apartment is probably like $3,000. And if you live on our campus in a dorm, share a room with another student, it's only like $450. We are only the very few community colleges actually have a dorm on campus. We provide a very safe and secure environment in a small American city. So other advantages, we have small class size and easy access to professors, have outstanding support like free tutoring in English, ESL, math, business, science, and many other areas. So the area, as I said, is a tourist attraction area. It's known for its natural beauty. If you love outdoors, Mountain Shasta, Shasta Lake, Sacramento River, Burning Fall, Larsen Volcanic National Park, and many large trails all nearby. So as I said, one of the major advantages of attending community college like Shasta College is the cost, right? So our tuition fee is only $8,184, and then the rest of the costs like a book and the room and board, they all estimate. So the total cost of attending for a year is only $21,800. So in comparison, for a four-year institution like the University of California, right, you need at least $64,000 for annual cost. We also have offer scholarships. We have a Shasta College Foundation scholarships, about $3,000 for outstanding international student. We also offer other scholarships for students who have complete 12 units of coursework at Shasta College. So this is for current student. So after you come here for a semester, and if you maintain good grade, you can apply for these scholarships. You can also work on campus. That's another advantage. International student can work on campus up to 20 hours per week. But the good thing about California is the minimum wage is $15 an hour. So that's quite a bit. We're just talking about some states only $10 minimum wage. California is $15 minimum wage. Oh, here are some pictures on our campus. You can see there's a lot of campus events, a lot of happy students on campus. Offer sport, arts, music, and theaters. Here show a picture of the football, and we have theater, dance, and arts, all different, a lot of activities. As I said, this area is very beautiful. Here is the waterfall. This is the MacArthur Barney waterfall. It's a very famous site. And Sacramento River and also Shasta Lake. You can also camping outside. And then there's a lot of events on in town. So here's the rodeo, and here's a landmark, and in Redding, the sound out bridge over Sacramento River, and farmer market, and also wagon ride. And here's another picture of the Sacramento River. This is a landmark over Sacramento River in Redding. Here's a picture of Mountain Shasta. So here's the contact information. Our international student admission specialist is Cindy Silva, and also we have global education coordinator. And of course, my name is John Yu. I'll be happy here to help you. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact us. So that's all from Shasta College. Now it's my colleague from Sinclair.
Welcome. Hi, everyone. My name is Maria Metcalf from Sinclair College, and I'm so excited to present today. So we can go on to the next slide. So Sinclair is located in the Midwestern part of the United States, so towards like the middle part of the United States. We were the first city to achieve the status of certified welcomes, which means we're an immigrant-friendly city. And we have 4 seasons. We have summer, fall, winter, and spring. We actually saw our first snowfall on Saturday, which was very early for us. And we have some fun facts about Dayton, because we're located in Dayton, Ohio. So the airplane was invented here, and we are a city of innovation. So the airplane was invented by the Wright brothers here in Dayton. So was the artificial heart, the cash register, the digital clock, the air conditioner, the thing that you use to open Coke cans, the digital clock, the ice cube tray, and the ice cream cone. So we also at Sinclair are continuing to help with the tradition of innovation by providing a great education. So you can go to the next slide. So why come to Sinclair? So Sinclair, we have been open for 128 years, and we've been serving the community because we were founded in 1887. We have over 220 different degree and certificate programs. We also have started offering 1 or 2 bachelor's programs at Sinclair as well. We also offer 35 fully online programs, and our class sizes are very small. So normally we have no more than 20 students in a classroom. And we have more than 100 university transfer agreements within the United States. So transferring, if you are wanting to transfer to university afterwards to finish your bachelor's degree, it's very, very easy to do so. And we have more than 3,000 students that transfer to university every year. Next. So Sinclair is a fully accredited comprehensive 2-year college. We have over 1,200 international students from more than 100 different countries. So we are very diverse. And the international office, we help students from admission all the way through graduation. So you will see us quite a lot. And we have more than 30,000 students on our campus every year. Next. So we have a lot of different programs at Sinclair. So like I said, we have more than 220 different programs. You can go to the next slide, please. So some of the programs that we offer, we have a bachelor's degree in aviation and unmanned aerial systems. So the drones, we have a bachelor's degree in that. We also have the 2+2 parallel degree programs, or the transfer programs. We also offer career and technical certificates and associate degrees, as well as English as a second language, and we offer short-term study abroad programs and much more. So there's something for everybody to study here at Sinclair. Next.
How do you get in English?
So some of the most popular transfer majors at Sinclair are business, engineering, liberal arts, and sciences. And we have transfer agreements, like I said, with more than 100 institutions, including Wright State University, Brigham Young University, and the University of Dayton, and many more. Oh, go ahead. So some of our career and technical programs that we offer are nursing, hospitality management and tourism, as well as culinary, computer information systems, data analytics, aviation, visual communications and design, and theater, and so many more. So we have a lot of career and technical programs for students to study. Next. Next slide. So we offer a lot of support for our international students. You can go to the next slide. So like I said, you will see us quite a bit. And so some of the support that we offer is housing assistance. So if you need help finding an apartment whenever you first get here, then we can help you with that. We offer support for your F1 visa. And so if you have questions, then you can ask us and we'll help you. We provide orientation, cultural workshops and activities as well, and a lot more. You can go to the next slide. Oh, and the application process is very easy. And it's entirely online. And so that what you would need to do is you would need to complete the online international student application. And then afterwards, you would just need to submit a copy of your passport, your transcripts from high school, and they have to be translated into English if they're not done so already. Your bank statement with at least $17,500 or the equivalent of that. And if you don't want to take ESL classes in English proficiency scores such as IELTS, Duolingo, or TOEFL. Next. Oh, you can go to the next one because I just said that. Sorry. And the total cost for tuition this is our estimated cost. So we estimate the tuition and fees to be about $8,500. Books and supplies and other expenses to be about $9,500 or $9,000 and to equal $17,500. So that's what you would need to provide on the bank statement. Next. And so you can connect with us. It's very easy to do so. You can do it on Facebook, WhatsApp, or WeChat, or email, if that's what you choose to do. So yes, thank you so much.
Hello, everybody. Hi, John. I can start sharing from my end, if you don't mind. So I don't have to do all the labor work. Thank you. Hello, everybody. My name is Christina Jai. I'm the Associate Director in the Office of International Programs at Edmonds College, Linwood in Washington State. It is my privilege today to join my fellow colleagues to introduce you a very affordable way of studying in the US. I want to thank Education USA team for bringing us together today. Now let's bring our journey. I call my fellow colleagues this chart illustrates the 2+2 system timeline. So as a student, you can start your associate degree study 2 years at a community college and then transfer to university for another 2 years to get your bachelor degree. You may do OPT in between associate degree and bachelor degree. In Washington State, as Edmonds College, we offer a very unique program that is called High School to University. If you are international students without getting your high school diploma from your home country, as long as you are 16 years older, you can join the program to get a US high school diploma first. Now, let me bring you to the West Coast again. Edmonds College is located in Linwood, Washington State. It's 30 minutes north from Seattle, 45 minutes north from SeaTac International Airport. It's only about 2 hours from Vancouver, Canada.
Our campus is a park-like with a golf course, garden, and honeybee farms. You can also see from this map, we are neighboring with big company headquarters, such as Amazon, Microsoft, Boeing, maybe you also know T-Mobile. And if you're a coffee drinker, the Starbucks originated from Seattle areas as well. My college was founded in 1967. It's a 2-year public college. The college name changed in 2020 during the COVID. We started serving international students in 1970s. Currently, we have programs for bachelor degrees, 63 associate degrees, and some 10 professional certificate programs for study and short-term programs and study abroad as well. Before COVID, we usually have 1,200 international students from 64 countries and regions registered every quarter. This is accredited college by the Northwest Commission on College and University. Why international students choose Edmonds College? We offer you a great learning environment. All the classes are small and there's interactions between you and the instructors. The instructors are the professors hired to teach in the classroom's teaching. You can access them after class during their office hour. Affordable tuition, just as you learned today, the tuition cost of community college is less than half. Usually it's only 1/3 comparing to the public universities in the same area. Scholarships and on-campus works are available for international students. Edmonds offers open admission. We enroll students 4 times a year, and you can apply fall, winter, spring, or summer quarters. We do not require your previous minimum GPA to apply. There's no SAT required as well. All those great services such as academic advising, counseling, peer tutoring, etc., they are all free. So take advantage of these services. Besides, if you apply for the year 22-23, you will benefit from the discount on housing and the tuition. Here is more detailed tuition cost for the academic year 22-23. The approximate total is about $21,000. That including tuition, book supply, health insurance, and living expenses. That means if you choose the college arranged homestay, the host family will prepare you 3 meals a day. You don't have to cook. The only difference is the tuition on bachelor programs if you finish your associate degree and then you want to continue your bachelor's degree of study at Edmonds College. This is my office. My colleague and we serve international students virtually and in person, from outreach and marketing, admission, new student orientation, advising, programming, and study abroad. As an international student, we will benefit more than you thought from one-on-one academic advising, monthly workshop by advisor, or on-campus transfer fairs. We have 5 full-time advisors focusing on helping you with your academic success, transfer plans, and future career goals. Edmonds College has a great pathway, has a great partnership with the 4-year university as well. When you apply for Edmonds College, you can also pick a 4-year university as a dual acceptance. I guarantee you will have a better idea of your career path after the major exploring in studies and when you get your associate degree. You've probably already heard about Central Washington University from today's presentation, and Central Washington University has a satellite campus right on Edmonds campus. Some of their bachelor programs you can pursue at Edmonds College after you get your associate degree. So you don't have to move out of Edmonds housing, or you don't have to give up your on-campus job. Talking about housing team probably are the first person you will meet in person upon the airport arrival. Edmonds provide airport pickup as well. We offer 2 on-campus residence hall dorms. And you can see from these slides, as long as you're 16 years old, all these apartments, buildings, they are furniture rooms with the laundry room, community rooms, wireless internet, free parking. They are 1 to 3 bedrooms apartment for you to apply for. And all these residence halls, they offer $500 discount for 22-23 years. Of course, you can apply for the homestay families. So when you stay with our college-run homestay families, you will be welcome as part of the families and be provided a single bedroom with 3 meals a day. As I mentioned, some of the campus resources are already covered here, and just remember they are all free resources. Last but not least, Edmonds College accepts online applications. So the document you will need is a copy of your current passport, bank statement showing a minimum 1 year cost. We need a proof of English proficiency. The minimum requirements is a TOEFL 54, IELTS 5, Duolingo 75, and etc. If you don't have English proficiency, we offer you a free online placement test after you submit online application. So it's a $50 application fee. That's it. If you are a high school to university applicants, you need to bring your high school transcript, whatever you have, and bring here. We'll evaluate the high school transcript for you. So please follow our social media if you are interested in Edmonds College. We'll have more information for you on our webpage if you scan the QR code. So thank you for your time for joining us session. And I also want to thank you, EducationUSA team. I want to give the floor to the questions. Thank you.
Thank you, dear colleagues, for your presentations. You were very mindful of the time. We are right on time. Thank you so much. So as said before, we are keeping the questions. We do not have any time for the Q&A part. But we will save the questions, we will share them with you, and of course, we will share the answers with our students. Thank you so much. Now I will try to share my screen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. So moving on, now we are transitioning to the next part of the fair, which will start in 5 minutes, 7:20 p.m. Baltic time. This part will be again half an hour long, and we will meet representatives from 3 institutions which are featuring STEM studies in the US. Champlain College, Illinois Institute of Technology, Milwaukee School of Engineering. For those who joined us a little bit later, not from the start, this is Education USA Baltic Fair. Education USA is a US Department of State network of international student advising centers in more than 175 countries and territories. So our network promotes US higher education to students around the world by offering accurate, comprehensive, and current information about opportunities to study at accredited post-secondary institutions in the United States. Today, we are planning to have one more session after this one, US Liberal Arts Colleges session. This session will begin at 7:55 Baltic time. So please tune for both of these sessions. And a short reminder, you are welcome again to write any of your questions into the Q&A box. We will try to answer them either right now, right here on the Zoom, but we will also keep all the questions for later, and we will make sure to answer them and to send the responses via email to all registered participants. Okay, so now I'm stopping sharing my screen, so the next session panelists are able to start sharing their screens and making sure everything is functioning smoothly.
So Samantha, I think if you are ready to share your screen.
Okay.
All right. Let me know that you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen. Okay, I think we can start. So half an hour from now.
All right, sounds good. So thank you everyone so much for joining us today. We are going to be talking about STEM studies in the United States at colleges and universities. And this is presented by myself. I'm with the Milwaukee School of Engineering. We also have the Illinois Institute of Technology and Champlain College. So we will jump right in and kind of first describe what is STEM, right? So we are looking at degrees that fall within these categories. So science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. And these types of degrees overlap, right? So a lot of different STEM programs are overlapping with each other. So you can see within the diagram there, engineering, science, technology, math, these all kind of relate to each other. This is how we get a really well-rounded education within STEM for technologically innovative students. And students who are pursuing these types of degrees should be passionate about science and math studies. So that is what would make you a really good candidate for these types of programs. And we will jump right in. I will be the first presenter, so I will be talking about the Milwaukee School of Engineering. So overall, the Milwaukee School of Engineering is an engineering university. So we offer undergraduate and graduate programs, but we really specialize in undergraduate studies within engineering and within STEM. So outside of engineering, we do have nursing. We also have business and computer science, but we mostly focus on engineering, which I'll go over in the next few slides. We are a very small school, so we have about a 13-to-1 student to faculty ratio with just under 3,000 students on our campus. We have a really high job outcome rate of 96% across all of our majors, with a very high starting salary as well of just over $65,000 per year. And we are ranked in the top 10 in the US when it comes to undergraduate engineering. And you can see some of our programs individually are also ranked in the top 15 or in the top 10. That includes actuarial science, computer engineering, electrical engineering, civil engineering, and mechanical engineering. So if you're interested in any of those types of programs, we are very highly ranked across the United States. But as I mentioned, we also have nursing. So we have a 90% pass rate on the tests that our nurses have to take in order to get their nursing license. And then of course, we have computer science as well, where we focus on artificial intelligence, and we actually have a supercomputer located on our campus. So this means that all of our computer programs, so computer science, computer engineering, and software engineering, are focused on artificial intelligence and machine learning. So if you're interested in that, we have one of the best pieces of technology, a supercomputer on our campus. And we are successful with being highly ranked and having these top performing programs because we are an application-oriented curriculum. So this just means we're an extremely hands-on university. All of our classes are hands-on. You have a lot of time spent in the lab, so that way you're learning on the machines, the tools, and equipment that you need to be successful within your program. And that's what leads to our high success within our programs and our top rankings across the country. If you're not familiar with where we're located, we are in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So this is in the Midwestern region of the United States. Today is the first day it has started snowing, so we do have all 4 seasons located in this part of the country. And Milwaukee is the largest city in the state of Wisconsin, with about 1.6 million people in the city and in the surrounding suburbs of the city. We are located on the shore of Lake Michigan, so you can see where the city is located. We are in that Great Lakes region, so you have access to the lake, which is very beautiful, especially during the summertime. And we are about 130 kilometers north of Chicago, so about a 90-minute drive north of Chicago. Most people recognize the city of Chicago. It's one of the largest in the United States, so you can kind of put Milwaukee in relation to where Chicago is. And here you can see all of the academic programs that we offer. This is at the undergraduate level. Again, as I said, we specialize in undergraduate programs, engineering specifically. So you can see we have 4 different categories: building and construction, computer, engineering, and then we have math, business, and nursing. So if you're interested in any program that fits within one of these categories, likely we have a good program that might interest you. So what makes MSOE different? How are we different than other institutions in the region and across the United States? So the first is we are a direct entry program. So what this means is when you are admitted to MSOE, you are also admitted into the program of your choice immediately. You don't have to apply again in the future to get into the School of Engineering or into the School of Nursing. You also start taking those major specific courses in the first term right away when you start, and most of your time is going to be spent in the lab. So over the course of 4 years of study, we have about 600 hours spent in the lab. This leads to a year-long senior design project at the end of your time at MSOE within the senior year. And again, we are that small school with small class sizes, about 20 to 20, 13 to 1 student to professor ratio. We also have a 4-year graduation guarantee. So what this means is, as long as you stay on track and you are passing your classes, you are guaranteed to graduate within 4 years. Now you may be wondering, where do our students work after they graduate? So you can see Harley-Davidson, Rockwell Automation, Milwaukee Tool, Johnson Controls. These are all companies that are found within Milwaukee or within the Midwest. But we also have companies across the nation such as Tesla, Google, or Amazon. Our students are hired. This past fall at our career fair, we actually did have Tesla on our campus for the first time, looking to hire our students or looking for students to give their internships to. So that was very exciting for us. It just shows that our students are in high demand at very large and well-known companies across the United States. So for admission requirements, we do require an application, and our application is free, and you can see that down at the bottom of the screen where you can apply. And we do require to see your transcript. So a minimum 3.0 GPA cumulative on the US system. It's a little bit lower at 2.8 for business or construction management. We do require to see an English proficiency test. We also accept the Duolingo. So if you have the Duolingo, you can submit that as well. The ACT and SAT are recommended. They are not required. So you do not have to submit that. And if you do not submit the test, it does not negatively affect your application. As described, we are looking for someone with a strong math and science background. And then if you are admitted, we do require to see the financial guarantee and a copy of the passport. So this is everything that's needed for an admission decision. We can make admission decisions very quickly as soon as you get this information to us. We can also make your I-20 very quickly if you are admitted to MSOE and you submit that financial guarantee and the passport. And then this is my contact information. You can send me an email or you can shoot me a message on WhatsApp. I'm very responsive to both of these platforms. So if you have any questions, please feel free to email me or save your questions for the end of the presentation. And at this time, I will turn it over to the next speaker.
Thank you so much, Samantha. Hi, everybody. And I think that's the perfect segue, right? As Samantha was introducing about Milwaukee, she mentioned about Chicago, which is really exciting because that's where I am calling you all from. Hello, everybody. My name is Stella Wong, and I'm here today representing Illinois Institute of Technology based out of Chicago, Illinois. Today, I want to talk to you about how you, whether you're looking for an undergraduate education or graduate education, or even just a short term in terms of English language services, or just exchange and visiting, that I think Illinois Tech right out of Chicago can elevate your future. Next slide, please. Before I get started, I do want to introduce you all to our team here who is going to be walking you through, helping you out in throughout this admissions process. Once again, my name is Stella Wong. I am the Assistant Director of International Admissions. And on the screen, you can see my fabulous team here. And today, actually, joining me on the call is my colleague, Michelle Moeri. So if you have any questions throughout my presentation, please feel free to drop in the Q&A box. Michelle will be responding to you, and we'll be more than happy to connect with you after our presentation as well. Next slide, please. Thank you. First and foremost, I want to tell you all a little bit about the location, right? Once again, Chicago. I feel Chicago is just a city that doesn't even need much introduction. It's just a city that stands on its own. But once again, if you're thinking about study in the US, thinking about, you know, the so-called American dream, I'm sure Chicago has come across your list for consideration. We are the third most populous city in the US, and we're ranked the best big city in Chicago, in the US. 6 years in a row by Niche. So when you think about where you want to go to study in the US, location really matters, right? Because what will mold your college experience has to do with the campus, has to do with the environment, but more importantly, it also has to do where you are going to be located, because that will be detrimental and influential when you think about your professional development and your social interactions with the environment around you. And in Chicago, I believe we're ranked the best big city in the US for a reason, right? 6 years in a row. We are the hub for innovation, for diversity, for global development, and intelligent global talent to come together and interact with each other. So I believe really just the location in itself is a really exciting consideration for you when you think about studying in the US. And also, Chicago is the home base to many, many Fortune 500 companies, including Boeing, including Google, including Grubhub, some all the other great stuff. Next slide, please. Now we discuss a little bit about the exciting location of Chicago, where our college is located. I do want to point your attention more internally of what we can offer you here at Illinois Tech. So at Illinois Tech, we have 6 different colleges that offer more than 100 programs and degrees for you to choose from. Whether you're interested in an undergraduate study or a master's or postdoctoral study with us. Some of the most popular majors, colleges include our Armour College of Engineering, our Stewart College Business, our College of Science and Letters, and our professional schools, including our law school and otherwise. So there are many, many popular majors for you to choose from, right? And recently we have some really new, exciting majors, including game design, artificial intelligence, computer science, electronic engineering. So all of those very exciting tech-based major, which is STEM-based once again, but also a lot of humanity-based major otherwise for you to choose from as well. And for those of you who are interested in obtaining a professional career or thinking about even doing a career change, we have a great list of professional degrees for you to choose from as well, in addition to our short-term degrees, accelerated degrees, and certificates. Next slide, please. So now we talked about the academics. I do want you to paint a picture for you of what your campus life will look like at Illinois Tech as well, right? Like I mentioned before, where you are, the big environment is very influential for your experience as well. I was an international student myself. I was born and raised in China. So I know that, you know, where you are, who you interact with, who's in your classroom, who's your professor, who's your classmates, make a difference in terms of us having this American educational experience. And once again, I want to say that I believe Illinois Tech is the place to elevate your future due to the fact how diverse, how welcoming, how inclusive a campus that we are. As you can see here, this is our breakdown of our campus, okay? We have about 3,000 undergraduate students, and we have about 3,000 graduate students. So a good mid a size of a campus for you here in the US, right? And I do want to point your attention that we have almost 40% of international students on our campus. What does it mean is that on our campus, you will find students from all 50 states of the United States, right? So you will have the exposure to the cultural, the majority of the culture to have that acclimation to the American culture. But at the same time, 40% of your peers are international, right? So I assure you, every corner you turn on campus, you will find someone who will understand your mother tongue, who will understand the culture that you come from, that you will find a community where you feel that you belong, okay? And because we're a mid-sized campus, we do have the advantage of having, providing our students with access to faculty, right? As you can see here, our student to faculty ratio is 10:1. So that means if you have a question about a class material that you took in the lecture, you have the opportunity to go to that professor's office hour to say, hey, Professor Lee, what does this mean? I don't understand. Can you please help me out? So we do have a great balance between both domestic diversity, international diversity, the big offerings of our exciting academic programs, but also the individualized attention from a faculty and staff member like me who want to help you out. Next slide, please. This is really, this next slide is really something we're really proud of, right? Because we know that committing to your college or post-college education is a big deal, letting alone for you all, for our international students who are so brave to pursue an education 1,000 miles away from your permanent home, right? So one thing that we take really great proud of is that we are providing our students, both international and domestic, with a really valuable outcome, right? Meaning that you will have a great return on your investment when you study at Illinois Tech, that your degree will hold really much value. And one data that can corroborate that point is how fast our students are being employed after they graduate, right? Almost 70% of our graduates are employed within 6 months, right? And the median, sorry, not the median, the mean salary, the average salary that our graduates can obtain after they graduate is around $64,000 per year, right? So think about, once again, that kind of return on your investment. If you're joining us for a few years of study and you graduated with a degree that is STEM certificated, that you will have the opportunity to apply for OPT, CPT, to have up to, 2-3 years, depending on your program, and you will have that kind of return your investment when you work full-time in the US, if the visa process is smooth. And once again, some of the top employers where we see our students getting employed include Google, Amazon, Boeing, Accenture. Many of them, once again, are headquartered right in our backyard in Chicago, and many of them have the pathway and great partnership with us as our industry partners. Next slide, please. And once again, to bring it all in, right, to drive it home, we are ranked by U.S. News and World Report. I'm sure many of you are familiar with our organization. We're ranked number 42 in best value national universities, right? And we're ranked number 2 in the nation for overall upward mobility among highly selective private colleges. Once again, at Illinois Tech, we want to stress the fact that what an exciting location we're in, what a valuable tech education we can provide you, and what a grand picture of a job prospect that our graduates hold. And really briefly on scholarship as well, we do offer merit-based scholarship for both our international undergraduate and graduate students when you apply, and that ranges from $20,000 US to $80,000 US, for example, for 4 years of study for undergrad, and for about 2 years of study for grad, with amount around $20,000 US. If you have any questions, I will drop my email. Michelle, if you could please drop our international email in the chat for everybody to see. We're excited to connect with you. We're excited to help you out. And we really hope that you feel Illinois Institute of Technology in Chicago is the place to elevate your future. Thank you very much, everybody.
So hello, everybody. Thank you so much, Stella. Thank you so much, Samantha, for your presentations on the STEM fields. My name is Jessica Karki. I am the Director of the Office of International Student Services and the International Admissions Counselor here at Champlain College. The benefit is that I am the person that is going to see you from your very first inquiry all the way till you're out and working legally in the United States on OPT or STEM OPT. So just wanted to make sure that you understood that you will be well supported here at Champlain College. As you're seeing on the screen right now, this is our campus located in Burlington, Vermont. Burlington, Vermont is about 130,000 inhabitants, has about 40,000 students from local colleges, and so surrounded by 4 different colleges, including Champlain College. Burlington has a hip, young, innovative feel to it with a very urban-esque feel, but still small. So if you're looking for a place to grow and be outdoorsy, we are a small urban kind of hip place near to hiking, skiing, snowboarding, basically nature all around you. You can also see that from this picture, there is a lake, and that's called Lake Champlain. It divides this, basically our state of Vermont from the Adirondack Mountains of New York. So in terms of geographical location, we are 32 miles from the Canadian border and about an hour and a half from Montreal, Quebec. And our south border is Massachusetts. Our western border is New York, and our eastern border is New Hampshire. Next slide, please. So we are a private 4-year university, and we specialize in the high-tech information and technology and sciences degrees. Plus, we have a full game studio with 6 majors inside of it that complete a game in their senior year and get hired. So if you're thinking about, wow, I really love game, this is the place to be. Communication and creative media, business, and the social science majors and degrees. We're located, as I said, in Burlington, Vermont, which is a small city with very much an urban, youthful feel to it. We start you in your major field of classes on the very first day of university. And in addition to that, we make sure that in your second year, you begin multiple internships at Champlain College. So the average class size, like my other 2 colleagues, we are very small, 14-1 in terms of the class size being 14, and our faculty student ratio is 12-1, so very similar to my other colleagues on this call. We are 2,100 students from 21 countries and 40 states. Most innovative school, 4 years running. And in addition to that, our game majors rank in the top 8th in the nation, plus our cybersecurity, data science, and computer digital forensics majors that you'll hear about in just a few moments. They are ranked in the top of the national rankings. We have a 93% employment rate 6 months after graduation. Our students, most of our graduates, this means most of our students that are sitting at graduation already are employed. And then 6 months past that, 93% of that graduating class is fully career relevant jobs around the country. So, and around the world. They have a 60% of our class has completed 1 or more internships, and 52% have studied abroad. So half of our entire 2,100 have actually gone abroad. And we build that into your curriculum at Champlain. Next slide, please. Okay, so these are your fields of study. We have 4 divisions at the college: communication and creative media, education and human studies, information technology and sciences, and the Robert P. Stiller School of Business. Most of, when we're looking at STEM, we also include the arts. And so you may take a look and see that a lot of our gaming is sort of in that creative and communication and creative media area, but our really high-tech areas is information technology and sciences. And to tell you the truth, most of the STEM designated degrees from the Department of Homeland Security, if you're thinking about STEM OPT, they're centered, all of those majors in the info tech and sciences division are STEM designated degrees. So I wanted to make sure that everybody knew. The other piece also too is that at our college, you can minor in any of these major fields of studies that you see here. And also there are more concentrations, including AI, which is also part of our information technology and sciences bend. You might want to know also that in terms of corporations, many of our students are working with BMW to deal with how people are hacking into cars. So this is like a really new cutting edge thing, but our students are on the leading edge of that. And to next slide, please. This is also our game studio. So as you're seeing, this game studio builds in their second year. You have all of these teams that start building in their second year, and these teams, each one has one of the 6 majors in their team, and then they start to build a game second, third, and fourth final year. We have game art, we have game business and publishing, which is actually a business degree, but it's how do you bring the game to market? How do you get it to the audience? We have game design, which is the role play and the structure behind the game, the story, the narrative. We also have game production management, which is the budget for the game and how you devise all of that. Game programming, which is the code behind it all, and game sound design, which is the music and the composition and the sound effects. Next slide, please. And then to support your learning on our campus, we have what are called 10 centers of experience, ranging from the Community and Social Justice Center all the way down to the Center for Publishing, but also the ones that have to do with STEM in particular, I want to focus on, which is the Senator Patrick Leahy Center for Digital Forensics and Cybersecurity. This is a state-of-the-art lab that allows our students to, in their first semester, to do internships with small companies that need our help. They may need to know who hacked them. They need to know how their Apple devices work. They might need a mobile app built. They might need a website. They might need a social media campaign started. This is that particular center when it comes to the cyber side of things and the digital forensic sides of things. And it combines together with the Emergent Media Center, which is really the social media pieces. It's the website pieces. It's the marketing pieces. These two together, along with the generator makerspace, allow our students to have really hands-on practical application of their major fields of study on campus without having to leave the comfortableness of the campus experience. Next slide, please. So these are our undergraduate DHS STEM degree, designated degree programs at Champlain College. And you can see all of them with their listed CEEP codes here, which, by the way, the CEEP code tells you whether or not it is a STEM designated degree program, and make sure that during the admissions process that you are actually asking those kinds of questions to your international admissions counselors. Which ones of your STEM degrees are actually meant to go on to STEM OPT extensions, right? So this is a big question for international students. Next slide, please. And just a pitch, we have one of the most comprehensive collegiate esports teams in the country, and that there are many ways that you as an individual could participate regardless of your skill level. And that means that you could either be a fan and watch and stream, but you could also be a player, or you could actually be a coach or a manager. And there is great correlation between the STEM fields and esports and who participates in esports. And you will find that people who major in STEM fields are directly correlated to those who actually participate in esports on campuses all over the nation. So this is really something that's very, very cool. Next slide, please. And this is how you apply. So these are the elements to a Champlain College international student application. You will see the URL in the bottom box here. And generally, we are a Common App school. However, we also do have a regular online application. And you'll notice that most of these things are standard to my colleagues who are here on today's call. We are also test optional, so your SATs and your ACTs don't really matter to us. However, our English language proficiency is required, and we do accept Duolingo, IELTS, TOEFL, whatever have you. In fact, there's like a multitude of ones that we do accept. We do like to see 2 letters of recommendation, a personal essay, and a portfolio. And the portfolio majors are for only 6 of our majors on our campus. That would be animation, game art, game design, creative communication and creative media, filmmaking, and the last one would be, I know I said it before, but I can't remember. I'll get back to you on that last one, but just let me mull it over. Okay, next slide, please. All right, and this is me. This is Jessa, and this is what I do on the campus. I am a one-person office that ranges all the way from international strategy all the way down to my roommate's bothering me and I need to move. That is basically the breadth and width of what I have to do. You'll see my email and both my WhatsApp contact details here, and also our URLs for Champlain College. I've been delighted to be here with you today, and hopefully now maybe we have some time to open it up for questions. Oh, and this one might be one of those. Let's open it up for questions.
We still have a couple of minutes, so let's open up for questions if we have such, okay? Mm-hmm.
So let's see. I'm going to the chat. I guess that's where I'm looking. Yes. or somebody got another chat open.
Yes, we have the Q&A part, but I don't see any recent questions. The last one is this, what is the difference between computer science and IT?
Okay, so the difference between computer science and IT? IT is the acronym for information technology. And information technology is like the massive umbrella that goes over the tech fields, right? And so computer science is really one of those elements in the IT umbrella. So IT sort of claims the entire thing, whereas computer science is sort of at Champlain, the computer science degree is a coding degree. It's basically the code of all computers, right? And you delve into many, many aspects of it. But Samantha, I defer to you as well too, because your majors might be different.
I would agree with that. I would say too that our computer science program goes more in depth. Kind of what Jess is describing. It just goes more in depth into the coding part of it. So if you're looking for something that's a little bit more broad, information technology might be for you. If you're looking for something that's a little bit more focused, computer science might be for you.
Right.
And some same at IIT too.
Is that okay? Good, Michelle. Thank you for confirming.
It's called ITM, Information Technology and Management, and then we have computer science. So
yeah,
it's more coding and one is more, hands-on management.
Got it. And any other questions for us too, for STEMs?
I think we are out of time. So if we will get any questions, we will make sure to save them and to pass it on to you. And at the moment, I would like to thank you for all your wonderful presentations. I hope our students feel inspired to take an action now, to do the research, and maybe even to apply to your universities. So thank you, good luck, see you. And we are going to have a short transition to the next part of the fair. So I will share my screen again. Okay. So we are transitioning to the next part, which will be starting at 7:55, so in 3 minutes already. This part will be the last part of our fair, and it will be 1 hour long. And we will meet representatives from 9 universities, which are featuring liberal arts studies in the US. So these are Augustana College, Bennington College, Sinclair College, Clark University, Hope University, Minerva, Transylvania University, University of Laverne, and Wilkes University. For those who joined us a little bit later or just now, this is Education USA Baltic Fair. Education USA is a US Department of State network of international student advising centers in more than 175 countries and territories. And our network promotes US higher education to students around the world by offering accurate, comprehensive, and current information about opportunities to study at accredited universities and colleges in the United States. A short reminder, you are welcome to write your questions into the Q&A box. We will try to answer them here on the Zoom, but we will also keep all those questions recorded and saved, and we will make sure to answer them afterwards and sent to all registered participants. Okay, so I think I will stop sharing here. Dear colleagues, you are welcome to start sharing your slides just to make sure everything is working well. And the first presenter might be ready for the presentation. We are starting in 1 minute.
Awesome. I'm just going to share my screen to make sure that it works really quick.
Great, great. Yes, we can see your slides. Awesome. And just half a minute and we are good to go. Yes, we can start.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And welcome to everyone who is here. We're very excited to speak with you about the options for liberal arts and sciences institutions in the United States. My name is Brenna May. I'm the Associate Director of International Admissions at Bennington College. And before we talk about our individual institutions, we did want to give a brief overview of what exactly a liberal arts and sciences college is. We find that there's a lot of myths surrounding liberal arts institutions, and we find it kind of interesting to talk about the history of where these terms come from. Liberal comes from a Latin word meaning freedom and openness, and arts refers to the areas of study or the areas of mastery that you will go through at university. So there's a very common misconception that liberal arts colleges have something to do with political orientation on the liberal side, or maybe that you're studying the visual or performing arts, and none of that is true. Liberal arts really refers to an educational philosophy that is all about freedom and exploration of what you are studying. You can find quality courses in many different academic areas, including the sciences, the social sciences, and the humanities at a liberal arts and science college. And we do like to use that full term. You'll hear liberal arts college as an abbreviation, but the full term is liberal arts and sciences college. So don't be fooled that you're going to get an arts degree. This is really a place where you can find many different opportunities in different academic areas. The philosophy here is that liberal arts institutions want to prepare students to be well-rounded and to have perspective on different areas. Most of the colleges that you will hear from today, you will have an academic focus area, perhaps a major, perhaps a concentration, somewhere that you can focus your attention, but you will also be encouraged and sometimes required to take classes in different subjects. So rather than only focusing on your area of interest, you get to be much more well-rounded by the time you graduate. This education prepares you not just for one profession or one career, but so that you have many options. If you were to take classes in only one area, you may only be prepared for one type of career. So in the future, should you change your mind, you may not have very many other options. And this kind of education prepares you for many different types of careers in the future. It also provides a lot of other skills, things like critical thinking, very strong writing skills, being adaptable, working with others. All of these qualities come out of a liberal arts institution. And there have been many studies in the past 5 to 10 years showing that businesses around the world are more consistently looking for liberal arts graduates because they know that those people will be great at writing, great at presenting, great at working with groups, all of these really important qualities in any field that you choose to enter. A few benefits in general of a liberal arts institution, you'll see it abbreviated here as LAC, you'll see that sometimes. Not all the time, but very often liberal arts colleges do tend to be smaller in size. So this means that your classes will be smaller as well. This means more engagement, more one-on-one time with your professor, and being able to build relationships with the students who are in the classroom next to you as well. Having requirements or encouragements to go outside of your major also gives you a very strong foundation for your area of specialty. So whatever you are interested in, you're able to support that with classes in other subjects. There are really no subjects in the world that are only in one area. It's becoming much more interdisciplinary, and the liberal arts institutions support that very strongly. You can have the opportunity to study more than one area as well. So if any of you are thinking that you'd like to double major or have a major and a minor, or perhaps even more than that, you are able to do that at a liberal arts college, perhaps with a bit more ease than at a large university. It can help also at a liberal arts institution to not have to decide on your major right away. At some large universities, you need to apply for a specific major or declare that in your first year. At any liberal arts institution that I'm aware of, you have at least until your second year to make that decision. So if you're not sure of your future career path when you're 17 or 18 years old, that is absolutely okay. You've got time to figure that out. And as I mentioned before, you're really building all of these different kinds of skills, no matter what you're studying, in order to support your future career and any future projects that you might be involved in. So now that you know a little bit more about the liberal arts, hopefully that was a bit helpful, we are going to talk about our individual institutions just for a few minutes each, so you get a sense of all the different types of liberal arts institutions that are out there. So as I mentioned, I work at Bennington College, which is a very small liberal arts college in Vermont in the US. So you'll see us on the map right here. Vermont is a small state that borders Massachusetts and New York. We are about 3.5 hours from New York City and 3 hours from Boston. And if you can see on that small map there, you can see some other institutions that are close by. Places like Middlebury, Dartmouth, Williams, and Skidmore are not too far from us. Bennington is a bit of a different approach to the liberal arts than the general overview that I just gave. So at Bennington, every student creates their own academic program. This means that you have essentially unlimited flexibility of what you're able to study. And if you go on our website, you'll see a list of all of our areas of study, but our students go beyond that. They look for interdisciplinary connections, ways to create new interests for themselves based on what they'd like to do in the future. Some students make their academic plans surrounding what their future career will be. Maybe there's a problem in society that you'd like to solve and you can base your academics around that. So you're not limited to traditional majors, and we actually don't have any required classes on campus as well. You are really able to take the classes that truly excite you and that will support what you'd like to do in the future too. To that end, Bennington also requires an internship for every year that you attend our college. So you'll have at least 4 internships by the time you graduate in fields of your choosing. This is a fantastic way to take your flexible academic curriculum from the classroom into the real world to see what kind of career do you like? Is it what you thought it would be? Or maybe do you need to look in a different direction? Having not just 1 or 2, but 4 of these internships is really valuable to not only find out what you like, but perhaps find out what you don't like as well. On campus, Bennington is a small institution of about 750 undergraduate students. 18% of those students are international from over 60 different countries, and almost everyone lives on campus for all 4 years of university. So this is a very close-knit community. I might be wrong, but I believe I might be the smallest institution here today. So if you're looking for a place where you can know the people around you, you can feel really comfortable on campus, and making sure that you have that community surrounding you, that's what Bennington is all about. So if you'd like to learn more, I would love to answer your questions in the Q&A. Please feel free to pop them in there. And also feel free to reach out to us at any time if there's any information that we can provide. And with that, I will pass it off to my colleagues.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bobby Aki. I'm the International Admissions Counselor at Augustana College, Illinois. Thank you, Brenda, to give the overview of the Liberal Arts College. So now I can just describe about my individual college, Augustana. So Augustana College is located at Rock Island, Illinois. It is 2.5 hours far from Chicago, Illinois. And Rock Island is a quad city. We have 4 cities together. 2 is in Illinois side and 2 is in Iowa side, and is divided by Mississippi River. And we have quad cities have a professional development opportunities. We have 2 local hospital systems, 6 TV stations. We have Deere and Company headquarters here. We have 30 museums, and we have plethora of outstanding hands-on opportunities on both sides of the Mississippi River that divides Illinois and Iowa. And our students are able to leverage. Augustana College is founded in 1860, and currently we have 2,500 students, and among them we have 350 international students, which is like 12% ratio, and we have 18 class average students. So that's not too many students we have, and each faculty member can have 11 students. And we have international students from more than 40 countries right now. And we are so proud to say that we are getting more international students in coming year. We have more than 90 plus majors and minors, and 50% of Augustana students have double major or triple majors. And mainly we have majors, I can say that business administration, we have accounting, art and graphic design, we have engineering, we have computer science. And you know, the liberal arts college students can take, in the first year, they can take any classes. If students can take a business administration, they can also take the data analytics. So they can basically explore many majors and minors in their first year. And we have 65% students do internship, their internship from their first year to senior year, and they have opportunity to do in their research program. We have many development professional institution here. They can get opportunity to do their research program. And also we provide Augie choice. That means students, if a student decide to do research or internship, or want to go to abroad for their 1 semester or 2 semester classes, Augustana College will give $2,000. That's called Augie choice. So all international students try to do at least like internship or research program or go abroad to get their short degree from other universities, and Augustana College will give them $2,000. That's called Augie choice. And we provide merit scholarships. It is start from $24,000, and 99% international students receive financial aid. It's based on their family financial status. Augustana College also have a career coaches and advisors. So we have core that department has advisors and coaches. They always advise international students to get their career, to get their job when they are doing their study. So from the first year, students can get involved with the different kind of organizations and get their experiences. And 99% students can get their internship, or they can get involved with any research program. And currently, I can see that 2,658 students have studied abroad from Augustana College, and they can get a different type of experiences from different countries and universities. And 357 students has involved with the research program. Augustana College also have different kind of organizations and clubs, like Asian student organizations. We have coding advertising club, we have business or finance club. Also we have Greek life, volunteer mental health club, music club. So international student can get involved with those club and they can share their culture and they can get experience. This is a place of doors. So Augustana is a natural place for people who live to stay busy. So students can get many groups to involve. We have a very fantastic dining place. So many international students can get the food from according to their taste, their cultural food here. So we provide Asian food, we provide Middle East food, also we provide Mexican food too. So students cannot be bored with normal food. We have a very beautiful residential hall. So dormitories for freshmen and sophomores and junior and senior students, they can live in transactional living area, which is kind of like apartment and a big space. Our requirement is for application is high school transcripts. So students have to submit at least 9 to 12 grade transcript. If they don't have the 12 grade transcript, at least they have to submit 9 to 11 grade transcript initially. And also we require English proficiency test scores. If the students don't have the ACT or ACT, we waive that ACT course, but we require English proficiency test score like IELTS, TOEFL, Duolingo also we accept. And also international financial aid application form, which is requirement. So these three things international students need to apply at Augustana College, like transcripts, 9 to 11th grade transcripts, financial aid form, and English proficiency score. And they can apply in two ways. We have a common app and also Augustana portal. So students can submit their application either way. So that's all about the Augustana College. If you need any information, you can reach me out. You can text me in a Q&A, or you can email me anytime. I pass it to my next colleague. Thank you.
Hi guys, I'm Lance Pello from Hope College. Just wondering if whoever's doing the slides might be able to flip us on to Hope. I know we're maybe a little out of order here. Oh, and I can jump off too if we know who's next.
Sorry, my name is Gwen from Clark University. Are we following this order, or is it Hope College going to be next, or Laverne? Sorry.
I think we should go in the order of the slides. If someone from Laverne is here, could you hop on, please?
Laverne, I don't know, but Minerva is here. I can go. I was right after Laverne. Here we go. Hi, everyone. My name is Elena. I'm Minerva's Regional Outreach Director for Europe, Eurasia, Middle East, and Africa. We actually have people that are assigned to a certain region. I'm originally from Kazakhstan. I'm based in Georgia, and I've been with Minerva for about 4.5 years. And as many people on this call, I honestly think we have one of the best jobs in the world. We get paid to travel and talk, and I think this is pretty amazing. And we're definitely one of the very first people that you would want to reach out to if you have any questions. And today I'm here to share a little bit more of what Minerva is. Even though we're headquartered in San Francisco, our students actually only spend 1 year there. Our students live in 7 different countries, and that's a fixed program for everyone. So you would do your first year in San Francisco, and the second year you would do 1 semester in Seoul, 1 semester in Hyderabad, third year Berlin, Buenos Aires, 4th year in London and Taipei. And as I mentioned, that's a fixed program for everyone, and everyone has to go to all of these places. So together with your class, you'd be moving from one place into another. We have about 85% of our students that are international. About 80 plus countries are represented. We are a very small university. We have about 500 students in total on the undergraduate level. We do have a graduate program, but that's not our topic today. And yeah, the globality is really represented in the program. Can we move to the next slide, please? So we have 5 different majors, and this is something you get to choose in the second year of your studies. We're not going to talk about the first year because that would take about 30 minutes. So if you do have any questions about Minerva, definitely reach out to me. I would be more than happy to share of what the first year looks like and any other questions that you might have. But the majors that we have, as you can see on the slide, we have 5 different majors. There's arts and humanities, computational sciences, natural sciences, social sciences, and business. And in the third year, you would get to choose a concentration. We're not going to go through all of the concentrations. I feel like if you have gone to this part of the presentation, you're probably interested enough, and I have all the faith in you. You can go into the website and you can read about the concentrations. However, I do think that the approach that we have is a bit different from what you would find in the majority of the universities, because we're not asking you what you want to learn. We're asking you what problem do you want to solve. And that's a bit of a different approach, because with that mindset, then you would be choosing a concentration, because the concentrations that we offer are not just one thing. They're a blend of several fields coming together. So for example, if you're interested in something like history, it's not just going to be history, it's going to be historical trends and humanities. And you would be taking a look at the different events in history and how they have formed a certain legislative system in a certain country, for example. Or if you're interested in computer science, you would be doing computer science and artificial intelligence. If that's psychology, that would be brain cognition and behavior. And you would have a bit more of the neuroscience, plus a little bit more of the cognitive processes, plus sociology, and how all of that is covered by the psychological theories. You can definitely do a double major, you can do a double concentration, you can do a major and a minor. So there's definitely a lot of different things that you have to do. But in the end, you do have to identify a problem that you care about and find a solution. That's the only way you can graduate from Minerva. Can we move to the next slide, please? Talking about the admissions process, we're not even test optional. We openly do not care about your standardized tests. So no IELTS, no SATs, no ACTs, no TOEFL, nothing of the sorts. We do want to see who you are, which is your basic application form with your transcripts, with your the rating of your school, your rating in the graduating class, and things like that. We want to see how you think, but specifically without preparation. So we want to see what your thought process looks like in sort of its raw format. There will be a series of challenges that we have designed ourselves to really help us understand how you make decisions, how you justify those decisions, your logic, your creativity, and things like that. And the third part would be on your achievements and accomplishments. And that would be, and it can be anything. It can be sports, it can be arts, it can be, I don't know, the volunteer projects that you're doing. Maybe you're working to support your family and things like that. I think what's important to understand about Minerva's admissions process, and I know that some of the students out there do know about us, and I know that a lot of students are worried and concerned about the admissions rate, because last year we did accept less than 1% to the class. But that shouldn't really stop you, because we don't have any quotas and we don't have any enrollment caps, which basically means that it doesn't really matter who else is applying from your school, from your country, from your city, from the Education USA cohort that you're in. We will review everyone, because we're not comparing students to each other. There is a certain bar, and if you pass the bar, you get into Minerva. So it has nothing to do with anyone else who's applying. And the last slide that we can move to, we'll talk about the need-based financial aid. We offer financial aid, which is need-based, which will basically focus on just your budget. The US system usually has 2 types of financial aid. There is need-based and there is merit-based. Merit-based is more focused on different things. It can be your grades, it can be your test results, it can be some of the accomplishments that you have, some of the achievements that you present, and things like that. A need-based financial aid really focuses on your family budget and your actual sort of like financial opportunities and abilities. And so at Minerva, we're focusing only on your family budget. We'll take a look at how much money you actually need to support your studies, and from that, we'll make a decision. The financial aid package will have 3 components to it. That would be the low interest loan, the term time employment, which is where you work for the institution and you receive a salary for that, and the scholarship grant. So depending on the need that you have, we'll be able to determine what the package would look like for you. The financial aid package will not include 3 types of costs. That is the cost of tickets, cost of visas, and cost of health insurance. But other than that, I have been working with primarily Eastern Europe and Central Asia for the past 4 years. And I can tell you that this is definitely something that is very comfortable for our students. I tried to be as fast as I could. So thank you so much for listening, and definitely let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.
All right, thank you so much, everyone. Let me see if I can. All right. So hi, everyone. My name is Gue, and I am the Senior Assistant Director for Global Outreach at Clark University. So it's an honor to be here to tell you a little bit about our institutions along with other liberal arts and sciences colleges. Next slide, please. Oh, okay. So Clark University was founded in 1887. Initially, our school was established just to provide education for the graduate level, but things have changed a lot in the last 100+ years. Nowadays, we offer education for both undergraduate and graduate level. The majority of our students are undergraduate. Our students coming from, we have about 12.5% of our students are international, and they come from from over 70 countries around the world. Similar to a lot of like other liberal arts colleges, here we also have a very small student to faculty ratio. It's 9:1, and also very small class size. That means that you will have a lot of opportunity to have personalized support from your professors, easier for you to build connection and integrate into a new environment. We offer more than 50 majors and minors at the undergraduate level that are housed under 3 colleges: the College of Arts and Sciences, School of Management, and Becker School of Design and Technology, where we have the game design program that is ranked number 3 in the world. Next slide, please. So because we are a liberal arts university, the liberal study is a required component of our curriculum. So like my colleague presented from the beginning, like you have an opportunity to explore different academic disciplines besides, of course, like the major that you want to focus on. But we also have a lot of opportunities for our students to involve in research and hands-on learning. This is how you can see how the theories you learn from class can be applied into real world. We have lots of real world projects that we include in our curriculum that you will have a chance to be a part of. And you will see how you can apply your knowledge to help the community. And that next slide, please. And that's the reason why 84% of our students complete at least one internship or similar experience before their senior year. And 97% of our students are employed in school to pursue a higher degree like a master or PhD, or engaged in a fellowship voluntary experience within 6 months of 6 months of graduation. Next slide, please. If you are considering or thinking about pursuing a master's degree right after your undergraduate degree, this is something that you may want to keep in mind. So at Clark University, we have a 5-year accelerated master that allow our students to get a bachelor degree and a master's degree within 5 years. And the even better part is that if you start at Clark as a freshman in your undergraduate degree, your 5th year master degree will be tuition free. So that's the reason why like 1 in every 3 students at Clark decide to stay at Clark for the 5th year to pursue this program. Next slide, please. So the total cost of attendance at Clark, that is, include tuition, room, board, and fee, is about $63,000 a year. We have 2 types of financial assistance: the need-based financial aid and need merit-based scholarship. So need-based financial aid, you can apply. International students can apply for need-based financial aid by doing a CSS profile. For merit-based scholarship, you don't have to do anything. Every applicant will be considered automatically. There's no separate application, and the merit-based scholarship is up to $28,000 US a year. Next slide, please. And I know it's a very quick overview, but I hope it gives you some overall idea about Clark. And if you have more questions, feel free to send us an email at admissions@clarku.edu. Thank you so much.
Hello, thank you so much for being here virtually. My name is Joy, and I am the Assistant Director of International Recruitment at Sinclair College. I am very happy to share a little bit about Sinclair College and what it's like to study here as an international student, because I am a Sinclair College alumnus and a former international student. So to start us off, Sinclair, it's a small private liberal arts and sciences college. If you're wondering where Sinclair is, we're located in a small city called Danville in Kentucky. Danville is a small city with a welcoming community and a safe setting for international students. And not to mention that if you enjoy fried chicken like I do, this is a state where KFC started. So here at Sinclair, we are committed to providing our students with a premier education, experiential learning opportunities that prepare students for meaningful careers and global experiences in a supportive and inclusive community. Our commitments are highlighted in rankings by U.S. News and World Report, whether it's our best undergraduate teaching or our fantastic study abroad programs in many different countries around the world. So here at Sinclair, 3 things are guaranteed for all students. Those are called our Sinclair commitments. And what they are is if a student wants to pursue a mentor research and or internship opportunity, they should be able to do that. If they want to study abroad or study away within the US and elsewhere around the world, they should have those opportunities. And we are confident that all of our students will be able to pursue those opportunities and graduate on time within 4 years. That if for some reason, if they are unable to pursue these opportunities within 4 years, they get to do a 5th year for tuition free. So that's Sinclair College in a nutshell. Next slide, please. So here at Sinclair, of course, we value the liberal arts education because colleges and universities are about learning, right? But at the same time, we want to make sure that students have the opportunity to pursue extracurricular activities, whether it's in sports, community service, performing arts, visual arts. So here at Sinclair students are very involved in a number of different things outside of classes. So almost half of our student body plays a sport. So there are a number of athletics teams, and almost half of our students are involved on one of those teams, whether it's basketball, swimming, soccer, or I guess football. Football is the term that's used everywhere else in the world except the United States. And so Sinclair students are very involved in sports, community service, arts, and there's a lot of things for students to get involved in outside of classes. Next slide, please. So I won't go through all the majors and minors. As I said before, we are a liberal arts institution, so we follow a liberal arts education curriculum. For students, for international students, we provide generous scholarships up to $30,000 per year to accomplished students and some financial aid. A lot of the merit scholarships are automatically considered. Students are automatically considered for these merit scholarships. Additionally, we also have full funding scholarship for international students through our premier scholarships, such as the Lincoln Scholars Program, the Brown Fellows Program. Those are our fully funded scholarship program, and they are cohort-based systems. So every year, each scholarship program will select up to 10 students. And for the Lincoln Scholars Program, within those 10 students every year, 5 of those are international students. So if you are a recipient of one of the premier scholarship, everything's been paid for you by the school. If you're interested in our in Sinclair, and if you're interested in applying for our premier scholarship, you must complete your Sinclair admission application as well as a separate premier scholarship application by December 1st. So after all of this, the way we invest in our students translate to really great graduation outcomes. So about 98% of Sinclair graduates are employed in a field of their choice or are enrolled in some of the top graduate schools around the world within 10 months of graduation. So I know I've said a lot in a very short period of time. All the details can be found on our website, as well as the QR code, which is on the next slide. I sincerely hope that you'll consider applying to Center, and thank you for your time today. I'm very excited to work with you on your college application journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Joy. Super excited to be here today. Thank you very much. My name is Lance Pello, and I am the Senior Assistant Director of Admissions here at Hope College in Holland, Michigan. Certainly one thing that makes us different than a lot of schools around the country is our name. As with many schools that are named after a location or a person, we are really named after an aspirational idea of bringing hope to the world. As you can see from this slide, we are in the state of Michigan. And if you are from the state of Michigan or live in the state of Michigan, you quickly learn that we're the Mitten State, especially true today as it's snowing here in Holland. But we are about 10 minutes from the beautiful sandy beaches of Lake Michigan and right in downtown Holland. As you can see there, we have just about 3,200 students, an 11-to-1 student to faculty ratio. And we average class sizes of about 14 students. So very intimate, very engaging. As I always say, you get to know every single one of your professors and they know you by name. Next slide, please. Hope is a place that you can do a lot of things. With just over 3,000 students, we have a very vibrant campus life. As you can see, we're an NCAA Division III school where we have a variety of varsity sports. So a lot of our students, including our international students, can compete at a high level, yet we are truly an academic school first. So the NCAA Division III rule is that you're a student first and an athlete second. Our women's basketball team won the national championship last year, and our women's volleyball team is out in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania today to compete in the national finals for the women's basketball. There you can see some of our rankings. One of the things that Hope is certainly known for is our undergraduate research. So we're number 22 in the country when it comes to doing research with professors. And once again, kind of some of the differences between a liberal arts school and a general education school is our students are 18 to 22 doing research, and a lot of other big schools, you don't get to do research with your professors until you're at least a graduate student, so in your 20s. You can see that our costs and scholarships are there on the form. We have an anchored tuition pledge, which means during your 4 years while you're at Hope, your tuition will not go up. It'll be locked in at your freshman rate and will go all the way through for 4 years. We have a great new initiative called Hope Forward, which is a tuition-free opportunity. And our international students are certainly able to apply for that. There is an application process to apply to Hope, and then Hope Forward would be an additional application. But your original application for admission does serve as your application for merit-based scholarships as well. Next slide, please. Here's just a sample of some of our majors and minors. We have more than 90 different majors and minors here at Hope College. We are fully accredited in all areas of the arts, so dance, music, theater, the physical arts, and we consider creative writing an art as well. So we have opportunities in all of those areas. As with most other liberal arts schools, we want you to seek something that you're really passionate about, not just looking for a paycheck in a career field, but finding something that God has gifted you with. We are a Christian institution, so that means the faith life is very strong and very engaging here at Hope College, but you're not required to be a Christian to come to Hope, nor to graduate from Hope College. Applying for admission, we can be done through the Common App. We also have an application directly on our webpage. Just that last slide. So I am here on behalf of my friend and colleague, Jim Crawley. He's actually traveling internationally right now. He does a lot of traveling and would be the main point of contact for you. But we'd love to have you come and visit us. We can help with some of the finances there to get you onto campus. And certainly if you have any questions, I'll be available and connect with you via chat or at the end of this session. Thanks so much. Have a fun day.
Hi, everyone. My name is Abby Love, and I am the Associate Director of International Admissions at Wilkes University. And I'm very excited to be able to speak with you all today about Wilkes. Next slide. So Wilkes University was founded in 1933. We are a nationally ranked research university that does offer programs, a wide variety from engineering to the sciences, and of course, our various liberal arts, theater arts majors. We do have the activities and opportunities of a large university, but in a smaller, intimate setting that is very caring and mentoring type of environment of a small college. So we have about 2,300 undergraduate students on our campus from 29 states and 16 countries. We also have another 2,000 graduate students, which is a mix of on-campus students and online students. And we are located in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. As you'll see the little star here on the map. So we are a few hours away from some of the larger cities that you may have heard of. 2 hours from Philadelphia, 2 hours from New York, and about 4 hours from Washington, D.C. Next slide. We are a Division III athletic school. Some of my colleagues have already mentioned that you would be a student first and then an athlete. So we do have men's teams and women's teams of different variety, from basketball all the way to ice hockey for both men and women. We also have a wide variety of majors and graduate programs. We have a College of Arts and Sciences, College of Business and Engineering, and a College of Health and Education. With our engineering programs, we do have a 4+1, so you can earn your bachelor's and your master's with us in 5 years. And some of our top programs are in nursing, as well as hospitality leadership. Next slide. So for the total cost for undergraduate students, it's right around $60,000 US, and that is with no scholarship included. We do offer merit-based scholarships for students that range from $8,000 US up to $22,000 US. Students don't have to submit any separate application. You just simply need to apply to Wilkes, and our application is free, so it doesn't cost you anything to apply. We only require you to submit a copy of your transcripts, your passport, and English proficiency. We don't require SAT or ACT. However, you can submit that as part of your English proficiency, or we also accept many other tests such as the IELTS, Duolingo, Pearson, or any other language institute that you may have attended. We are very flexible on how students show their proof of English proficiency. And so the scholarships are only based on your previous academic performance, and we will notify you of your admission decision and scholarship decision at the same time, so you can make the best decision if Wilkes would be a great fit for you. Next slide. With our campus being small and having a very mentor family-like culture on our campus, all of our students complete an internship, research, or a capstone project, which leads to our graduates having a 94% job placement rate that work at some of the top companies here in the US and around the world. Most popularly, a lot of students work at the Hershey Chocolate Company, being very close to us in Pennsylvania. We are ranked 25th in The Economist for economic value, and we have been recognized in US News and World Report for 19 consecutive years. Next slide. And I know that was very short, but I, of course, want to be mindful of my colleagues that come after me to share with you about their wonderful universities. So we want you to know whatever it is that you want to do in your life and your future, we know you can do it, and we know at Wilkes that you will do it. So I'm happy to take any questions that you may have now or later at global.engagement@wilkes.edu, or you can reach me on WhatsApp, and of course, drop any questions you have in the Q&A box. Thank you all so much.
Hi, everyone. I'm Alice Schaff. I'm the Assistant Director of International Recruitment at Transylvania University. I am the last presenter today, and then we will move on to Q&A. So if you do have questions for any of us, we'll be getting to that very quickly. For Transylvania, some interesting things to know about us is that we are the 16th oldest university in the US. We were founded in 1780. We are located right in the middle of Lexington, Kentucky, and Kentucky is in the middle of the eastern part of the US. You can see from this picture, the foreground of the picture is our university campus, and in the background is our city. And it's just a 5-minute walk, and it's only a 5-minute walk if you're walking slowly, to get downtown, where all of restaurants, shops, cultural attractions, arts, theater, concerts, just about anything our students could want. If they even want to get off of campus, there's so much to do on campus. We have 48 majors. And when I'm asked what our most popular program is, it's actually currently our self-design majors. We have the opportunity for students to really take any part of our 48 majors and reconfigure them to whatever they want them to be for their own purposes or their own career path. So, and even though it's called a self-design major, you don't do it by yourself. You are working with an advisor and a registrar. We are undergraduate only, and we have 1,000 students on our campus. And because we're that small, and because we're undergraduate only, our class sizes are quite small. We only have 15 students on average in every class. And your professors are going to get to know you. They're going to know you by name. There are no back rows in our classrooms. I always tell international students when I meet them that if you are looking for the kind of university experience where you can hide in the back row, or you can kind of disappear into a clump of international students and no one's going to know you for 4 years, then Transylvania is not the place for you. If you do miss a class for any reason, our professors will be concerned about you, and because they miss your presence in class. And so that is part of the reason why our students have such success after Transylvania. We want you to be happy and successful with us, and then happy and successful when you leave us. We have a 95% success rate with our students, either in jobs or in graduate programs within 6 months of graduating from Transylvania. We have 27 sports teams at the Division III level. And just like Lance was saying about their women's volleyball team, our women's volleyball team is headed to Pennsylvania for the Division III championships. So we might end up playing Hope College in part of that tournament. For our application process, we are on the common application, and we do use the one application for admission and for scholarships. Our application is free, so by filling out one application, you get to know whether you're admitted, and if you're admitted, what your scholarship is. Our scholarships start at $15,000 per year, and that's renewable for 4 years, and go all the way up to full tuition. We do also give credit for A-levels, IB, HL, and SL, and AP, and we are SAT and ACT optional. So if you don't feel like those scores reflect you as a student, or if you haven't had a chance to take the SAT or the ACT, we don't require those. We're also, we don't require the English proficiency tests if you are a native English speaker, or if you've been studying in English for most or all of your high school years. So that is it for Transylvania University. Little skim across the top for an introduction to our programs and our university. And I guess we'll open it up to questions and see if anybody has anything for us.
Yeah, let's see. There was one question, if any of the universities presented here now offers studies in sports psychology.
For Transylvania, that would be one of the self-design majors. So definitely yes.
Mm-hmm.
I I would take that as well. I was a psychology and kinesiology double major at Hope College. So that was actually one of my areas of focus here at Hope. So a lot of our athletes, that makes perfect sense. So it would fall under the kinesiology department along with the psychology department here at Hope.
At Augustana College also we have psychology department and we have art and graphic design department.
At Center, we definitely have the psychology program, but at many liberal arts colleges, there may not be a major with like a specific name, for example, but that doesn't mean that you can't study or pursue that area of study. So for example, sports psychology, I think many of my colleagues have already said like, you can pursue psychology but work with athletics team at your schools that sort of like relate to sports psychology. So there's a lot of opportunity for those.
Okay, and I don't see any further questions. It's almost 9 p.m. in Baltics, so most probably all our students had a long day already. But the good news is that we will be sending the recording of the fair to all registered students. And we will be also promoting the recording in the YouTube, so many more students will be able to just watch the recording and connect to universities and representatives. So thank you so much everyone for joining our fair, and see you next year. Bye.